Greetings. I am so glad that you guys are here. Greetings. Oh, man. What a day, what a day, what a day. All right, guys. How you guys doing? Okay. All right. Sandy, I see you. Okay, you're here. Good to see you, my sister. Thank you for being here. Okay, you guys can hear me fine. Okay, all right. I tested all this, so we should be all right. Welcome, guys. Welcome. I am so glad that you're here. Welcome to Bring Your Babes. I'm your host, Vale Chikone. We begin. Bride or brand? You tell me. Anyway, guys, we are here and we have Anthony O'Neill is going to be featured tonight. If we don't finish, we can always do it another day because there's a lot to mine. But nevertheless, the newlyweds are out here. Okay, so let's play it. So, okay, I'm gonna play this clip for you guys. Okay, they were on I'm not familiar with the guest. I guess because I've done a couple videos and their stuff is popping up. Okay. All right. So let's see here. All right. So so Laterras and the wife, obviously, in other words, they're on tour, is what I call it, because he's producing a book. He produced a book. It must be already on Amazon. Love something. So, but let me play this. Okay. So we'll get to the story. So remember, these people just got married. Okay. And there's nothing wrong for them to go, on tour to be doing all these other things. But this is what that's why I put the title. Is this a bride or a brand? Because if you're just coming off the honeymoon, the last thing you want to do is to be hopping around podcasts. You know what I mean? All over the place, flying out of town, things of that nature. But it's their marriage. They can do it anyhow. But, because it's public, there's something we can learn. So take a listen.
Up bringing a guest on. This is the middle of COVID, and so I had to get guests on the podcast that were my personal friends, people that trusted me to come on the podcast and not catch COVID, basically. Yeah. So I called up my buddy Joey Greco, who used to be the host of the TV show Cheaters. And so while doing this episode, I said I would be remiss if I didn't admit to my own infidelity in my past marriage. And so my wife, thank God, she never outed me or blasted me on social media. I had been divorced 5 years at that point. And before I released that episode, I sent it to my ex-wife and I said, hey, I want you to take a look at this. I know you always told me never to speak about this publicly while we were married, but now since I'm divorced, I believe that this is a part of my healing journey. Can you watch the episode so you'll be comfortable with if you get any type of pushback or questions from your friends?
Okay, so we've had this story more than we can count, okay? So my thing is, you are married now, okay? You are married now. Everybody knows what happened to him in the past. So why is it that whenever they're going to the podcast, they're doing this show, whatever else he's doing, why does his story always has to go back to his ex-wife? Why does his story has to go back to what he was doing? You understand what I'm saying? So to me, I'm like, okay, by now everybody knows that story. Right now, you are in a new chapter, you are moving forward. So it looks like, okay, every time he goes to this podcast, people keep asking him the very same question. To me, it does not make any sense. And obviously, he has to keep talking about it, right? So what is it about this story that he feels the need to be talking about it? If, she's moved on and he has also moved on, which I believe that they've moved on. But, the constant reminder about, my marriage and all these other things, everybody knows that. He's on tour right now promoting the book, Love, I think that's the title, Love something. So I didn't get idea like, okay, why are you keeping asking him about this? So this is after they got married, okay? So this just happened recently. So this must be his third or second interview that he's done, okay? So I'm skipping. We're not going to listen to the entire thing. It's, we're just going to go to what is interesting for our papers tonight. Welcome, guys. I'm so glad that you're here. Here we go.
Are there things in the book that haven't been aired on the podcast?
Absolutely. I go deeper into what led to the podcast. I talk about heartbreak that I've experienced and, when I was growing up and love and even talking more about how my kids came to be. My daughter was born my senior year in high school. I deep dive into that. So I just take people on a full encompassing journey to learn who I am and what allowed me to become a student of love, and hopes other people take that same oath and do the same.
What did it take to write this book? Was this over time?
Okay, so now he's a student of love. Okay, anybody can call themselves that they're a student of love, okay? Can you master it? I don't know, okay? We do know God is love, but be that as it may. So this was a very good question from this lady asking, is there anything in the book that we haven't heard? Because, trust and believe, we've heard a whole bunch of things. So according to him, yes, there's some nuances that are present in the book prior, how the podcast and all these things came to be. But I do remember him talking about how the podcast came to be. So I haven't read the book, so I don't know what's in the book, but that's what he's saying. So to me, I was just like, okay, is he saying anything new on this podcast? That as soon as you came back from the honeymoon, and this is what is going on. So that's why I'm saying like, okay, where is the time for you guys just to enjoy yourself and everything? Him, it's a different story. This is his second marriage. But the lady, this is her first marriage. You know what I mean? So You know what I mean? It looks like you guys on tour promoting the brand is what I would say. But, you guys, you tell me. All right. So they were, 21. I did, I skipped certain things and then she shows up. Then we can hear what she had to say herself. Okay. All right. Let's, where did I have her? Okay. Here we go, guys.
You announced that you have found the one, but then you kept it secret, kept her secret. What went into that decision?
And I would like to reframe that. I didn't keep her secret, I kept her private.
Yes.
Yeah, and so from a private...
You see, no, you did not keep her private. You kept her secret. So this is the thing. To me, I just no, I don't know, whatever he wants to put. Secret, private, it's besides the point, okay? But the point is, the way Ashley was introduced, okay? It was like, okay, we're not going to, it was calculated that we're not going to introduce you to the world until you walk down the aisle. Now, on the standpoint of production, because he's into, he's an author, he does production and everything. So on the standpoint of production, you producing something, that was a good move. Absolutely a good move. Because you keep people, there was you're building up the anticipation, okay? People, they want to see and everything. Cool. But this is marriage, okay? This is the woman that you're going to marry. This is the woman you're going to spend the rest of your life with. Why would you want that person to be hidden if it's not something to do with the production, if it's not something to do with the brand? Think of it this, okay? If you guys, even if you're married or if you're single, would you want your fiancé to keep you private? I mean, this is what he's saying. So let's grant private. He doesn't want us to use the word secret. Would you grant, I'm going to put a ring on it, but you know what? I don't want anybody else to know right now. You know what I mean? I want to keep this private. Okay, no problem. What will be your follow-up question? Why? Why do you want to keep this private? Because, wedding is a public thing. There's nothing wrong with it, right? So what is the reason that you want to keep this private? So now when the person is telling you, they have to give you an answer, okay? Oh, I want to keep it private. For what reason? Are you going to keep it private? So he kept it private. Why did he keep it private if it wasn't the production of side of it? If it wasn't the I can't find words, you know what I mean? The marketing behind it, the marketing strategy, the production strategy. You see what I'm saying? So this to me, it tells me she is going to have difficulty navigating where it's, okay, is it me and my husband right now? Or is it me and the dear future wife? Is it me and the podcast? Is it me and the thing? These are the things that she's going to have to grapple with. Right now, they know the words, you know what I'm saying? They're going to have to learn the steps. But the way she was introduced to the world, she was introduced as part of this production. Because granted, if she had said, no, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel comfortable for you to hide me. We're still going to get married. It doesn't matter. It's good for production. But if you're marrying your partner, this person's going to put a ring on it. Are you okay with the private issue? You know what I mean? Let me know what you guys think, okay? So let's see his reasoning.
Standpoint, I know she's not the type that cared about all the public fanfare. She was the type, even on social media, she only had like 2,500 followers. She posted once or twice a year. She wasn't into all that. And so I know how overwhelming it could be to now be, hey, this is a woman that I'm engaged to, and now everybody's getting triggered, everybody's on the DMs, everybody's wishing you well. Some people may be wishing you well, and other people may be wishing you to hell.
Okay. How is this true, given that, according to him, the Laterras, right, he has already said he was looking, and all this information is public information, okay? All this stuff is already there in SS magazine, and these are the things that he has even said himself, hinted. This time around, when he's being asked, why did you decide to keep it private? He's saying like, didn't want all this social media, all these other people, getting into the way, this, that, and the same. Why? Because she is a private person, okay? No problem, she's a private person. But he said that he was looking for somebody who had the desire to be doing, creative things, content things, and all that type of things, right? And he was going to come in to help that particular person, right? So much so that they can even be doing the podcast together. So if this woman is all about privacy, if this woman is all about private, she doesn't want to get involved in this social media, this, that, and the third, why is she going to be on the Dear Future Wife podcast? You see what I'm saying? So why does she want to do this content or these other things? There's nothing wrong doing all those things. I don't want you to hear me. That's what I'm saying. But he is saying they decided to keep Ashley private because she didn't want the hoopla that comes with the social media. I don't know. The math ain't my thing. Okay?
So at the end of the day, I want to make sure I protected it. I remember my boy Jerry Flowers said, make sure that people don't put their fingerprints in the cement before it dries up. Ooh, and so I want to make sure that the only fingerprints that was on our love story was that of God and each other. And so I didn't want everybody else weighing in and criticizing stuff. And so we built something extremely solid so that when we did make it public for the world, we invited everybody there on our own merit. We live streamed the wedding for those who have been on this journey with me for the last 5 years, and we invited them in on it. Thank you.
Yes. What was the budget?
$150,000.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Ooh, well, we can't quite afford that here on Championship. We have to pay some bills. We're gonna take a commercial break anyway. But when we come back, you guys, your new one.
Okay, so you see, this is also another problem that he'll be running into. And okay, I personally, from the production standpoint, like I said, I thought that was cool. But once again, marriage is not a production, guys. They're not in a movie set. This is real life. Marriage is a covenant, okay? So however they wanted to do things, that's their business. But it's not like for him to say, oh, we wanted to protect and everything. No, now you made these people to be so curious that now everybody wanted to see this Ashley, and now people had to go back. Wait a minute. Ashley is the one who pursued you. You see what I'm saying? Oh, now, wait a minute. You said you were going to do the wedding, but you guys did 50-50? You see what I'm saying? So, I don't know. You guys, what you guys think. Let's listen.
Talk about it, Ashley.
Well, when we met in November. Did he tell you?
No, we didn't even get into that yet.
Yeah.
Okay. He was saving it.
He was saving it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we met in November.
The 26th of 2023.
Oh, see?
And you know the date.
Oh, yeah, I always remember.
This is a real good husband right here.
And so I was doing the podcast at Cali Worship in California, and Erica Campbell and Warren Campbell's church. And so they invited me to do the podcast. After the taping of the first episode, I was out in the lobby. Well, I was actually in the sanctuary talking to people, and Ashley walked up to just say how much she enjoyed the podcast. And before I knew it, I grabbed her hand like so, and then I just walked out the sanctuary.
Like this, babe.
I locked my fingers like that?
I think so.
Oh, that's so inappropriate. Why would I do something
Wow,
like that?
Ashley, what were you thinking? Were you just like, oh, he's fresh? Should have slapped him right there.
Okay, maybe it was like
Yeah,
that.
like this.
It was like that.
Yeah, I just grabbed her hand like this, and I walked out the sanctuary, and I caught myself in the lobby. I was like, oh, my bad. And so then I started talking to her, getting to know her, whatnot. She had told me that she had friends that be on the podcast, and I don't know what it was, but I just felt a drawing towards her. I just felt connected to her, and so I asked her to DM me. I didn't want people in the lobby to see me getting her phone number, and so I was like, hey, DM me. I want to keep in touch with you. And so
you actually did it.
Yeah, she did.
I was like, I'm not about to DM you.
That was an inner monologue.
Yeah. You had the romantic underlife.
So as far as DM, that's Laterras' signature, okay? He has said this much publicly as well. Like, okay, people just DM in the IG, you know what I mean, on Instagram page. Then he will go see on their page if there's something there, and this is what they're sharing. That's what happened. So now, let's see what he said on this one. Okay, I'm just showing you guys the highlights of, just like, okay.
She felt like, she basically friend zoned me, and when we friend zoned each other, feeling like we just wasn't aligned. She was saying that whoever her husband was, she wanted them to live in LA. She felt like her husband was going to be in LA or whatnot. And I was like, I don't see myself moving to LA. It can't be me. You know what I'm saying? And so, I tried to put some feelers out there. I said, so if God had your husband in a different state, you wouldn't leave? She was like, oh no. I would never leave. She said, I was born in LA, that's where I'm gonna be, and I just, and I said, probably about 6 months later, she started dating some other guy, and then she said, you know what, I've actually opened my mind up to be willing to live in another state. So I was like, all right, All right.
Yeah.
And so we just kept continuing our friendship. And then around February of this year, 2025, I had a dream about her. And it was the first time I ever got jealous with the thought of her being with somebody else. So I called her up and said, hey, listen, I want to know if there's more to us than just platonic friendship. Can I take you on a date? And I said, what's your earliest availability? That was the end of February. She said March the 18th. And I said, all right. So I booked.
Okay. So Laterras has talked about this dream before, okay? So I'm noticing every time he goes to this platform, he has to change how he's saying things, which I understand, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. He's learning. So according to him, which he shared already, that he had a dream that Ashley was having is with somebody else. So he woke up jealous, and from there they started talking. Okay, he said these things publicly. So this time around, he just said, "Oh, I just had a dream in passing. Like, let's just keep moving. Nothing." What was it about the dream? Okay, but anyway,
The flight right then, and I said, I'm coming to see you on March 18th.
Oh, see, he'll do it if he wants to.
Yes, he will.
That's a lesson from there.
Yes, he will.
Ashley.
And he did.
Yes.
Ashley, at what point did you know he was for real?
Well, I think on my birthday.
Okay.
On my birthday, I knew he was for real. He was at church, and when he got out of church, he called me and he said, "Are you busy this afternoon?" And I said, "No, what's up?" And he said, "I need you to go to Tiffany's." And I was like, "But you already sent flowers. You sent this
Okay.
pretty card. Like, what's at Tiffany's?"
I like the sound of it though.
Right? It was a very good sound. So I said, okay. So I got in the car. I went to Tiffany's. He goes, "I also need you to record this." I was like, okay. Gotta go to Tiffany's. Gotta record this. Headed to Tiffany's. Went inside, and they had a beautiful necklace that he had given me called the Open.
all right, guys. So remember, Ashley knew that Laterras was going to be her husband, cause what? She heard his voice on the podcast. Like, she was in the car, heard the voice, and the Holy Spirit told her that that was her husband. But now she says that it was on her birthday when she knew he was for real. He's the one. So my question is this: what about the voice of the Holy Spirit that you heard? Did you believe this one was the one because on your birthday, because of the gifts that you received from him, and you had to go to Tiffany and everything? So the question for Miss Ashley is this: did you come to understanding that he was the one because of the lavish gifts that you received on your birthday, or because of what the Holy Spirit told you when you heard his voice? Which is it? Okay.
Open heart necklace, and it was about all of the things that he wanted me to fill my heart with, which were things that he was kind of pouring into us and what we were building, and wrote this really beautiful card just describing his intention for our relationship and what we were building together. And just 2 days prior, he had written a card that said that it would be the last birthday that we would spend apart, which I thought was very intentional. And I'm like, oh, that's strong. The last birthday that we're going to spend apart. And so I loved his love letters to me. But that really hit different because I knew he said, "I don't want to go spend all this money on this necklace for somebody who's not my wife."
I said that. I said, I got time for that. I don't be tricking off no money.
All right. According to the card, okay, you guys, this stuff is the stuff that these two people have said is just all over the place, okay? So, according to Laterras, send a card and say, this is the last birthday that we're going to spend apart. So, her birthday is in March, okay? The birthday is in March. So, it's the last birthday they're going to spend apart. But then in the magazine, okay, I didn't even bother to bring all this up, guys, okay? In the magazine, in Essence magazine, Laterras said his therapist, Love McPherson, told him that it's, it's time for you to get married. Okay? It's time for you to get married. You got to make it happen. So once again, and then somebody prophesied as well. Okay? Somebody was prophesied as well. So the question is, was it Love McPherson who solidified for you to go out and get married? Because in the card, according to your wife, you had said that was the last birthday that you guys are going to spend apart, which means the next birthday, which was going to be in 2026, you guys are going to be together. Like am I missing something here? Huh? So remember, just because these people got married, right? We wish them well. But this is the stuff that they've put out in the public domain, and the stuff is not adding up. One thing you're telling us, oh, this is, prophecy. One thing, the therapist said this back face. One thing you wrote on the card, this is the one. One thing you were scared, you didn't know. Are you hearing what I'm hearing, guys? Okay? So let's finish up and move on.
This is not a cheap necklace. And so I knew because he mentioned that God sort of convicted him and said, like, if this, well, I don't want to speak for you.
Yeah, what God told me was, I sent her some flowers. I said, that's good enough. And then God said that while I was in church, he said, if that was your wife, would that be all that you got her? I said, no, I really want to get this necklace. I want to get this necklace for my wife. He said, so why don't you get the necklace? And I said, man, I ain't gonna go get this girl this expensive necklace. And this girl ain't, she ain't reciprocated. She ain't told me she want me like that. And God said, but that's what you feel, go do it. And I said, I hope it don't backfire on me. I'm gonna go get this necklace and I'm gonna go do it. And so I did that. And I'm very transparent. I told her, I said, listen, I don't feel comfortable getting you this necklace. It costs too much as a first gift to give to somebody, and we're not even committed to each other. But I told her a week and a half prior to that I'm committed to you before the commitment. And I said, I am going to lead with intention until you become a believer.
Yeah, I think that.
Guys, do you believe that God told Laterras after, he had already sent flowers and the card and everything, right? God told Laterras that, that wasn't good enough. We need to top up. We need to add more. Do you believe that's what God told him? The way these people invoke the name of God, the way they invoke the name of God with all sorts of things. Certain things, that's just you in your mind. This is what you want to do. There's nothing wrong with the Laterras buying those gifts for the woman. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But now, which means you're telling us that God told you need to go buy expensive necklace at Tiffany. So, my gosh, man. And then at the same time, he's saying that he wasn't comfortable. Okay, he wasn't comfortable buying this expensive gift to somebody that they are absolutely not committed to. Now, I don't blame him for that issue, okay? Like, wow, you're going to buy this expensive thing and then things don't work out. That is not the point, okay? I understand him. But the point that I'm making to you guys, right? If this is what God told you, why would you have the doubt, the uneasy of purchasing that expensive thing to give it to the lady? Here's what you have to remember. When God blesses you with riches, he blesses without sorrow. That's how God blesses. So that alone, for you to have doubted a little bit, like, hey, is it? Then you actually know that wasn't from the Lord. Okay? That was just you wanting to buy, a nice gift, an expensive gift, which there's nothing wrong with it. What is wrong is you invoking the name of God that you know had nothing to do with God, guys. Okay? If you want to buy gifts, by all means, buy the gifts. There's nothing wrong with that. But you cannot just be saying everything like, okay, God told me. Okay, right now I'm having a drink. You know what? God told me that I should take a drink. I should take a sip. Honestly, is this how we living our life? That at every turn is God this, God this, God this. The things that you are actually just doing. So I was just like, you know what,
that is what we look for when it comes to guys, that intention and that you were purposeful in your actions. So you also presented Ashley with 300 letters that you wrote during this time that you were looking for your future wifey. Ashley, have you read those letters? Like, they were presented at the wedding.
They were.
Have you dug into that box yet?
I have not. The reason why is because we have been on a whirlwind tour of the world. Since the moment we got married, we have not stopped. I did peek into the box one night.
Okay.
I didn't even tell you. I peeked into the box one night, but I'm going to sit down. I want it to be thought out. I want it to be intentional. I want to give it all of the time that it deserves, because I've heard many of the letters. But for me, I'm super emotional when it comes to letters, and those are some of my favorite gifts. So his words are really powerful, and I can't be a train wreck because we've just been on this whirlwind tour. So I've got to find some time where I can just sit with the letters.
Okay, so once again, how they run their household, that's their, they can do that. But according to her, this is the wife. They just got married. Since their marriage, they haven't had time what they've been on tour on this, according to her, whirlwind tour. So much so that she hasn't gotten the time to sit down and enjoy these letters that this guy spent for over 10 years writing to the wife. Now that the wife is here, the box of the letters has been presented to her. She has not had time to sit down and dig deep in those letters and enjoy. Right now, these guys are still newlyweds. They're still on a honeymoon phase. So what is it that you're doing that you don't have time to sit down and enjoy the letters? And enjoy all those things that were written to you prior you guys get married. They are what? They are busy. So it's like they just hit the road running just like that after they got married. And when I'm saying this lady, she got married to the brand, because it'll be very difficult for her to be able to see which one is my husband, which one is the brand. And I don't blame her. She's new, okay? Laterras, this is not his first rodeo, right? So for her, right now, she has to be like, okay, can I say no? I want to be home and rest, enjoy, read these letters and everything, just relax and everything. But this is my husband. I have to go. So there, to make a distinction between the brand, Laterras, dear future wife, and the husband, Laterras Whitfield. And Ashley as a co-host of Dear Future Wife, or Ashley as the wife, which is a very difficult thing to do. Okay? Right now, the blast, everything just looks the same, right? This is a business trip. Okay? They are here, business trip. It is nothing wrong. You're doing business with your wife and everything. But to me, I'm talking this on the standpoint that they're newlyweds. Okay? I think it's way too soon for her especially. You know what I mean? And I get it. If this guy shows up someplace else, everybody's going to ask, oh, so where's your wife? You know what I mean? Why are you traveling alone? Where's your wife and everything else? So if I was their advisor, I would be like, slow down, enjoy, go back to the podcast you've been doing. Then, you can introduce Ashley slowly and organically, see if this is what she wants. So they've already announced December 31st will be season 11 dropping, right? With Ashley on it. If this is how they want to run their household, this is what they want to do, no problem. But this thing to me, looking from where I'm sitting, looking in, these can be seeds that can cause problems eventually. So, for example, what's her name? The princess. This princess, what's the one in Hollywood? Prince Harry and the wife, I forgot her name. Oh, Meghan Markle, right? That lady got married, right? And then she said that she didn't know who Prince Harry was, which is a lie. Everybody knows the royals, okay? But getting married to the royals, it comes with a pre-packaged, okay? They have responsibilities, they have duties. And if you're going to marry to that family, those are the things that you're supposed to be doing. They didn't choose to be royals. They were born in that, because of their bloodline. So Lady Markle just thought like she's just going to be a princess, enjoying whatever, like a fairy tale. When she went there, she realized you just don't get up and go. Okay? The Queen Elizabeth, God bless her soul. She's in charge. Okay? Everything that they're doing over there is done on purpose. It might mean nothing to you and me, but it means something to them. That's how they run, okay? So it starts even from the wardrobe, okay? You're just not going to go out there, okay? You have to dress appropriately, accordingly, and within appropriate colors, given that, the royals. To you and me, it's nothing. You just want to get up, wear whatever else you want to wear, right? So Are you willing to do those things? You see? So she there like, oh no, if this is a queen, okay? You cannot just walk into the queen and you have to curtsy the queen. And this woman is telling her, but that's your grandmother. Yes, that is the grandmother. That is the queen, woman. What do you think this was? You know what I mean? And yes, needless to say, things, you know what happened. And then they are there and as miserable as whatever. Okay? Be that as it may. She got married into that family and then she find out real quick that, it comes with certain responsibilities, which she wasn't willing to do. She was like, you know what? Let me go back to stateside. She's back stateside, Hollywood, doing the things that she wanted. No problem. So now the situation with Lady Ashley, right? Because, Laterras vetted and make sure the next woman, I want to be, this is the word they use, align, and to be doing this podcast and everything else. So if this is what she wanted, this is what she signed up for, more power to you, Lady Ashley. But I'm just saying, we can learn something from this issue, okay? Are you married to the husband or to the brand? Do you know the difference? And how does that look like? I hope I'm making sense. All right, let's finish up, then we'll go to the next one.
And read them.
Yes, definitely be ready to cry because he's such a great writer. We'll be able to find out more about that in this book as well. You guys are going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back right after this.
Okay, so let's see. This one, I think we covered this.
You were purposeful in your actions. So you also presented Ashley with 300 letters that you wrote during this time that you were looking for your future wifey. Ashley, have you?
All right, guys, that's what we just covered already. All right, fine. Then, so this is the trip that they, one, and the second one. This is called, once again, I didn't bring my glasses. Anyway, they were on this podcast. I apologize. Shout out to, I think, Nightcup. Okay, listen a little bit.
Hey, let's ask him for presents back. And so I said, let me take it slow. And so I sent her the flowers. A couple of days later, I kept saying, gosh, that's not good enough. This is who I really believe is my future. Let me activate that in my life. Let me actually move with intention on that level. So when God spoke that in my heart that Sunday morning, I said, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so I went, got the necklace, and I told her to record it because I wanted to see her reaction, and I wanted to document the beginning of that seed that I'm planting so that we can go back and look at it and be like, and this is where it started. This is where God spoke to me, and if you were my wife, what gift would I give you? And this is your response to it, and then we'll be able to go back and look at it.
All right, have we gone back to look at it?
Not yet, because she had a whole lot of other stuff to look at. We had
Come on, you got like 300 letters to look through, right? There's a lot.
A whole wedding that we just did, the proposal, a big proposal I did July the 13th.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been moving.
Okay, and then when?
So, he sent her to go to Tiffany, and he requested her that I want you to film it. Okay, no problem. So the question to ask, did you just want her to film it for the sake of filming it? Or in the back of your mind, that will be part of the production? Okay, you want to see how she reacts. There's nothing wrong with him wanting to see how she reacts. Okay, so in his mind, okay, I bought a very expensive gift. I want to see how you react. Yes, I can grant. You give somebody something, and if they don't react, excited, whatever, it can affect us. Like, oh wow, the way you responded and everything. But we shouldn't be doing things like that. If you give somebody something, just give, okay? Give without expectations. Free that you have received, free that you shall give. There's nothing wrong. Like, I know how we are human beings. We want to see, like, okay, if the person is not excited, then, well, which means they didn't like the gift. Wow, I spent so much money on this gift, and this is how you're reacting. I can understand that. So be that as it may. But that's my question, right? Once again, bride or brand? You want to record for the brand or you want to record for the bride? Which is it?
When did you know Ashley's it? Obviously you committed beforehand, but there's a difference between like, this is my ideal woman, this is my ideal love, to like, wow, no, I think this is what it is, to no, this is. I
think around April, and we were talking about that the other day, I think it was like April the 4th or the 6th, I was preparing to do the 5-year live anniversary of the Dear Future Wifey podcast at John Gray's church in Greenville, South Carolina. And I had a dream that I had proposed to her, and it didn't scare me. I had a dream that I proposed to her on that stage at that event on April the 15th. And this was like about a week prior to that. And I called and I said, you know what, I had a dream that I proposed to you at the live recording of my podcast in front of everybody. He said, so how'd you feel about that? I said, it didn't make me scared. It made me feel at peace. That's when I knew that I was ready to marry her.
Okay, when he told you that, how'd you feel?
Were you
scared?
Yeah.
Okay. So jet lag, they've been on whirlwind, traveling, and everything else. The previous we just watched, according to him, he said the birthday, I remember, because she said the birthday is in March. But according to this interaction in April, that's when he realized Ashley was the one. But in March, he had sent a card to Ashley, gift on the birthday, expensive gift, Tiffany, flowers, and a card that said, this is the last birthday we are going to spend apart. But in April, that's when he realized, like, yes, this is it. Ashley is the one. Okay, they've been traveling a lot. March and April, you can mix up things. Oh my goodness, guys. All right, but we need to go to Anthony. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's just like these people.
Surprised. I thought, I've always heard people say when men know, they know.
Yeah.
And he knew. He knew.
But just because he know don't
Well,
mean
I
I
mean, you
know.
know.
So
No. Well, he knew for him, but I knew on March 7th when my best friend called me and said that he was my husband.
But she never told me that, though,
Yeah.
at that time.
girl, you done skipped. We
Yeah.
already in April. What
Yeah.
happened?
And that's how I
Beginning-
felt.
What?
Yeah.
Your best friend told you what? Tell
So Ashley said, heard the voice, the Holy Spirit told her, that's the voice of your husband. And when she received the gift on the birthday, okay, he's saying, I don't want to spend, this is the last birthday we're going to spend together, apart, and, expensive gift. Ashley knew, like, oh, wow, this is deep. This is deep. This is deep. Now enter the best friend. Best friend had a dream that this one is going to be what? Is going to be your husband. So once again, we have the Holy Spirit. We have the message on the card. We have the best friend. We have Laterras having a dream that Ashley step out and then got jealous, called her. So I hope you guys are keeping track. All right.
My best friend called me and she said, I can't shake this feeling. I've been trying to go to bed, shake this feeling, but I have to tell you, the Holy Spirit told me that Laterras is your husband.
This is 4 days before he flew.
Shoot, it's about, what was it, March the 7th?
March
Yeah.
the 7th.
So that was 11 days before I flew down there.
Oh, you flew on the 15th?
Yeah,
My bad.
18th.
18th.
I went
okay.
on the 18th. I had a conversation with her February the 28th or whatever, and said I wanted to take you on the first date. So she knew that on the 7th, never relayed that to me, and I'm sitting up here like, why? What is going on? Like, why is it so hard to make traction with you? And then one day I ended up telling her, I was like, you realize I don't just say stuff and don't mean it. And she said, Laterras, I hear guys say stuff like that all the time.
I mean, clearly.
Exactly.
On the one-on-one, and then her best friend, and she probably had dreams she don't remember about this. Okay, listen, we way ran out of time, but we got more to discuss about this love story between Laterras and.
All right, guys. So, oh man. All right, fine. They did what do they call rapid questions? I thought that was interesting. We can listen to it, then we'll listen to the other gentleman. Okay, hold on, guys. All right, here we go.
Here in Student of Love. So
Yeah.
for people who are interested in this, especially if they don't know nothing about Laterras R. Whitfield
Yeah.
and the Dear Future Wifey, you must listen on any place that you can stream a podcast, including YouTube. But as far as the book goes,
Student of Love is my journey. The podcast is my journey to discover, uncover, recover love. And Student of Love is your guide to discover, uncover, and recover healthy relationships. If you want a love that you are proud about, a love that you want to submit to, a love that you want to surrender to, then the work starts with you. Love isn't about finding the right person. Love is about becoming the right person. And that's what Student of Love teaches.
wow. Cheers to y'all to becoming the right people for each other. And I can't wait to see what y'all do in March, baby.
Yeah,
okay?
no, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do
y'all
it.
gonna do it.
Yes.
All right, a good place to have a good time though is Grooves, baby, in Houston.
Oh, I thought they did the rapid questions. I thought you guys would like that.
And trusting that he submits to the Lord. And so when I opened that letter, I had no way of knowing in 2024 that God would the manifestation of this would exist on my birthday when I opened up the letter 365 days later. And so what I've learned about love is that God is love. And when you write to him, when you believe on him, when you keep hope first, don't give up on love. Like, God will write the story better than anything you could say or do.
Wow. And that's the first time it really dawned on me. She shared that with me and I saw it, but that's why it was imperative for me to act like she was my wife for her birthday. Little did I know, because she ended up telling me, yeah, I wrote something, I may read it to you later. And then when she actually read that to me, I was like, oh my God, that's the reason why I needed to do what I did then, to make a power move so that it would confirm the letter that she wrote a year prior.
I'm sorry, but March is y'all's month.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need, if y'all ever have like a convention, a festival, I'm manifesting this for y'all. It needs to be in March.
Yeah, talk about
that
it.
That is y'all, it's your birthdays, it's the start of your romance, it is when y'all knew. I mean, you knew in April, but we're gonna say it's March.
Yeah, well, I wanted to know in March, which I started moving forward. I had a keen idea about it. I just was operating.
All right, guys, that's yeah, I give them grace. They've been traveling just off the plane. Okay, so you can actually mix up some time, which I get. So I give them grace. Okay, so but this is listen to this. Oh my goodness, is that the one I wanted? Hold on.
Think sometimes ladies will look at men like
No, that. Okay, take a listen to this.
right now.
Fine.
Hey,
It's fine.
what?
I can't say my wife fine.
Hey man, you can say it. Your eyes look like you about to go look. He fresh off the honeymoon, y'all. I ain't want you to say nothing else, bro. Because them words were still going, she fine. And what? My brother is fresh. That man landed from Aruba, was home for 1 hour, and came straight here. You are not getting me in trouble with my sister. Your first interview was you come back. No, stop. You got a beautiful wife. Yes, sir. Leave it right down.
Got a beautiful wife. God bless me.
Yo, listen, man.
Okay, so you see, they're just coming back from the honeymoon. 1 hour later, he's in studio with Anthony O'Neill. He is promoting his book, The Student of Love. So once again, it's just like, okay, what could be so hard, pressing that you're just coming back from Aruba and the next minute you gotta go you interview, right? So I get it. He has responsibilities. He needs to meet the deadline. He's on tour. He has to promote the book. So that comes with the territory, okay? So just like, yes, you have to promote the book. They just got married, and this is what's happening, right? So he is into production and everything. Is it a coincidence that a Student of Love book is out, he just got married, and all these other things are happening at the same time? You know what I mean? As they say, there's no such thing as bad press, right? If he hibernates, if he takes a break, is that good for the brand? Is that good for the business? Who knows? I would say no, because you have to be doing this, right? So to me, as a newlywed person, I come home, we're coming home from Aruba. I don't live in Dallas. I just moved to Dallas. I'm from California. I have no idea where the grocery is, the grocery store, all these things, and the third, right? We just arrived. And then the next minute, 1 hour, you have to go because you have to do a podcast and all these other things. You see what I'm saying? So as a lady, I know every woman wouldn't like that. No woman would like that. You'll be like, no, this time for me and my boo, okay? But hey, man, you gotta go make coin. You gotta go do the production, things of that. So these are the things like Ashley, if she's 100% okay with it, no problem, right? But I do see these are the things, a little bit here, a little bit there, just like, okay, so now if I say no, I don't want you to go. I just want us to chill. I just want us to chill. You know what I mean? Watch Netflix, do these other things. Then am I going to appear very needy? But he has to go. He's doing business. You see what I mean? So this is the thing that she's going to have to work on over there. But, the stuff is out here. It'll be like, okay, here. So, and not only that, during this program, right? Laterras shared things, okay? What did he share? He says Ashley was paying 10 grand a pop, freezing her eggs. That's what the husband said. So, would you, is Ashley okay with that information to be in a public domain? That the husband shared that she was freezing her eggs and she was paying 10 grand a pop. That's what Laterras said publicly. And then he also said they, 50-50. You know what I mean? They went 50-50 on the wedding. They're talking about their finances. So clearly, she, if she's paying 10 grand a pop to freeze her eggs, okay, pay half of the wedding. She's got her own business. So the lady, she's good. She's got her own dough. She's got her own money. But once again, as a woman, as a newlywed, do you want this information to be out in the public? Do you want that information to be out in the public? And how do you navigate that? Because these people, they operate with this issue open and transparent. Guys, there are certain things that are just between you and your husband. It's not for the world to consume. It's not for everybody to know, even if you are a public figure, okay? Like marriage is between you two. But now, all this information, that's just sort of like out here. You know what I mean? And those are the things to me, as a newlywed person, as a woman, I don't think women would want other people to know about those things. It's the same thing like guys, like when they do these, whatever they call it, at the banks where these men go and, whatever, sell their seed. Are you telling me a guy wants people to know that he got paid because he went to sell his seed, or he's storing up your seed? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, hey, that's too much information to be telling the entire world. Okay, but nevertheless, the stuff is out there. Okay, because, that's what he said. 1 hour coming back from the honeymoon, and the information you're telling the world is you went 50-50 on the wedding. There's nothing wrong with that issue, by the way. Okay, your lady was freezing her eggs, paying 10 grand. You know what I mean? To me, there's nothing wrong, but do you want that information to be out into the world? And now when he goes back, if Ashley presents like, you know what, I'm not happy for you to be sharing this. I'm not comfortable you sharing this. Is Laterras going to understand that this is coming from the wife? Or he's going to be like, woman, I'm a public figure. I'm open and transparency. I don't like hiding things to my fans. I always tell people what's going on. So you knew who you're marrying. You knew it was going to be okay. You see what I'm saying? So I do see things like those might, it might issue whatsoever. Because they're newlyweds, they need to move slowly, especially in sharing to the public certain things. That way, you know what I mean? Like, if she wants to share certain things, let her share. But now, because you guys are here, if he shares, can she object? How is that going to go? Who knows? But that's what's going on there. Just looking in like, okay, there's certain things over here people can learn. Okay? All right, guys. Switching gears. So now we are entering Anthony O'Neill. And Anthony O'Neill, this one says that he wants to get married, right? He wants to get married. But time and time again, every time he opens his mouth, he proves that no. This dude doesn't want to get married. His actions says otherwise. So let's take a listen to this issue. Okay? But let me know what you guys think about those, what's going on over here. All right, let's listen into Anthony.
Right. And as God is my witness, and I even text my mom and my dad, I said, man, I'm not going into 2026 a single man.
You said that?
I said it. I text my mom and my dad, and I said, I need y'all to hold me accountable. And what was so funny is my mom called me yesterday, and she said, and I was at church, and so I couldn't talk to her. And I texted her early this morning. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning when God gave me this in my spirit. He said, that's why I was calling you. And she was calling to talk to me about situations that I endured in my past. And she's like, y'all just going to have a mother and a son moment. And it's so funny how God put that on her spirit. And then I wake up with that on my spirit during my Devo time. Because 2024 was a rough year for me personally and emotionally. Business wise, man, great. Made all the money, but there was something missing there, bro. And I just said, man, I'm 40. I'll be 41 this year. Successful, back in school. I'm an adjunct professor.
Really?
Right. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm an adjunct professor?
Yeah, man. So I'm back in school at Virginia Union, getting my executive MBA in church management, where I can help churches make money outside of tithe and offerings. Right. And so while I'm there, part of the agreement is that I'll be an adjunct professor teaching underclassmen.
So Anthony just said that in passing. Okay. Good for him to learn all those things. But he wants to help churches to be, just, when they get the funds, besides tithes and offering, right? They should doing business, okay? Guys, and no, okay? The people in the church, he can go to churches, okay? And equip the members of the church to, finances, things of that nature, get into business and everything else. You do not want the church to be busy doing business, okay? No. The church is in the business of the kingdom, advancing the kingdom, the Great Commission, Matthew 28. But Anthony just said that in passing. And trust and believe there are churches who will be happy to get his services so that these churches are busy doing business. You know what I mean? In all these other things, that is not the domain responsibility of the church. Okay? The church is in the business of the kingdom, winning souls for Christ. He can go to church, okay, and teach the members of the church how to invest, manage their money, their finances. Those are two different things. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I do not want my pastor to be busy, to be seeing like, okay, what's happening with the church? How many houses should we buy with this? No, okay? He needs to be in the word, preaching and teaching and taking care of his flock. The members individually, they can be involved in business or whatever else they want to be involved in. But Anthony just said that in passing, okay? No, Anthony, that is not the responsibility of the church. Because he's looking, this church is getting so much tithe and offering, they can be doing,
Financial management. So it's like, I'm not just this YouTuber talking about money, but I'm also back in school, getting my executive MBA, teaching this information from a professor level. And I'm like, God, I have all this.
Yeah.
I have all of this. And man, why am I still... I had to ask myself that question, and we can talk about it later on. However you want to go on your show.
No, we can talk about it now.
Because I literally said that. I said, God, I'm not going in 2026 single.
So what happened? What were you feeling? You start looking at the accomplishments. You start looking at the positioning that you're in right now, adjunct professor.
He said he's not going 2026 single. Okay. He's not going 2026 single. Okay, I submit to you. Okay, we are in December. Okay, and this gentleman is still single. Okay, he's still single. I'm sure he's dating, but he's still single. But he's not going in 2026 single. So when he was recording this and everything, that's 11 months ago. Okay, so from that time to now, it's been 11 months, and Homie is still single, guys. He has, he's good to go. He's got money, everything. He has all that issue, but he's still single. So, but he says that he wants to get married. I do not understand for the life of me why he's single, okay? Because I don't buy this idea of these people saying they cannot find anybody. That's the excuse that they use. So if he said that he's not going 2026 single, for the past 11 months, what has he been doing? Surely it's enough time to meet somebody, to vet them, to do the data collecting, as they call it, right? But the dude is still single, okay? And let's hear a little
Going back to school, you're going to help empower churches to make money outside of tithes and offering. How does that translate to your personal life, to where you feel a sense of a lack of fulfillment in this personal part of your life? Why? Because most guys, I'm going to tell you, Aunt, most guys be like, I have all this going on, and that's why I'm going to stay single.
Yeah, and you know what, man? I was just about to say that culture at one point, if I'm being honest, made me feel like I was the prize. Culture was like, dang, he's single, got no kids, got all this money, and he's had a successful business, genuinely loves God. Not perfect, but I genuinely love God.
Right.
And I'm like, man, when I hear women say that they were the prize, I was like, yeah, but also you're not gonna get another man like me. And that was me being honest and vulnerable. And I'll never forget one of my mentors, and we gotta talk about it too, man, because the Bible says seek multiple wise counsel. Right. The Bible does not say seek multiple skip over wise counsel. And I was seeking counsel, but from unwise men. And their perspective of my life was like, yeah, man, you need to get a woman that's just she gonna understand who you are. And one of my mentors said something to me that was so good. He said, no, you ain't the prize. And the man doesn't want to be the prize. I said, what do you mean by that? He says, who gets the prize? I was like, what do you mean? He was like, yeah, when you win a prize, who gets the prize? And he literally said it, and I still didn't get it. He says, the winner. He said, so you need to focus on winning biblically, winning and doing the things that God has assigned you to do. If you become the winner, God will reward you with the prize. And so the whole time I'm like, well, wait a minute. I get it. He was like, so she's the prize. You're working hard to earn her. And so now, man, I'm just realizing that, man, I got to really disconnect from culture, disconnect from what the world is saying. And I had to really understand that, man, I dropped the ball and I'll hold myself accountable. And I think men, I don't say men, but I think a lot of people, single people, we want to blame the opposite person.
So one thing, so the most things that I've watched from this gentleman here, Anthony O'Neill, he's what? He's 41. He says 40 or 41, right? He's not a young man. But I've noticed because he looks at himself through his riches, okay? He looks at himself through his riches because, you know, he's successful and all these other things he's doing. So he feels like there is no woman who is worthy to have him. And I'm glad that he's actually bringing that up. Okay, like, oh no, no woman is going to have me because I'm the prize. Because every time I'm sure he meets these women, he's making more money than them. So in his mind, if I need to meet somebody who is making more money than me, and I think it'll be very difficult. Okay, there are ladies who make money, but if you're gonna find a lady who is making more money than you, they're gonna look at you that you're making less money, and they're not gonna waste their time with you because they'll also be looking for a man who makes more money than the money that they're making. I hope what I'm saying is making sense. Guys, I am so glad that you're here. Please, 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 double check to make sure you're a subscriber, okay? YouTube is paging and put that notification bell. I'm trying to get to 10K. 10K, okay? So subscribe, help your girl out to get to 10K. I am glad that you guys are here. Thank you for being here. Hit the likes up, okay? Bring those comments. I want to know what you guys are saying, okay? Let's continue.
Always.
If I was a woman, I wouldn't blame him. As a man, I'll blame her. Well, she didn't do this and she didn't do that. And the truth of the fact is, Laterras, I've dated some dope ladies. They weren't perfect. I would definitely say the majority of them were not my wife, but they were a wife. They just weren't mine.
Right.
But I would definitely say that I've missed out on, I would say, a couple that I believe could have been my wife because of how I was thinking. And so now my philosophy is I had to work on me and I had to be honest with myself. And, you know, I got my new book coming out, Take a Seat at the Table. And inside the book, I talk about the power of relationships and how I'm moving with intentions, right? And how now at a table, you know, you got the head of the table, that's where I sit. And you got the side table, and then you have the other head of the table. And I've been very intentional about making sure that no one is sitting in that seat.
That just blessed me. First of all, congratulations on another book. It's going to be highly, highly successful. Take your seat at the table.
Yeah.
Well, listen, because normally I want to bring this up at the end, but I want to bring this up. I love how you just brought that up in that analogy. Why did you write this book?
Man, you know, for me, for a while, and I'm thinking about the concept of your show, because I want to make sure people get, you know, what they come for your show when I think about this book. Man, I wasn't sitting at the head of my table. If I'm going to be honest, man, I allowed, and I get emotional about this because I've always wanted healthy, spiritual fathers in my life. Because I was getting all of this success, but I didn't really have someone I can go to and bounce ideas off of and get some good, solid wisdom from. So I have amazing fathers, but they haven't built what I built. So they can't really give me the wisdom. And so when it comes to this book, I realized that I was going to men and I was said out.
So that's also the problem that he has. He has amazing fathers, but they haven't built what he has built. What is he referring to? His riches. So to him, because the other people don't have the riches that he has, they can never pour into him. They can never tell him anything else because he's successful, he's rich. No, don't operate like that, okay? Like if you can learn something, right? There's people who have wisdom, there's people who are wise, there's people who know the scriptures, there's people who can pour into you, but they're poor, they're not rich. So that's your riches are not tied to your to wisdom. There's people who are rich, they're successful, they have everything, but they're foolish. And there's people who are poor, they don't have anything, but they're wise, they have wisdom. You know what I mean? They have discernment. They can share with you good, godly wisdom. So he looks at people like, you know what, how much, how big is your bank account? Okay? There's nothing you can tell me. Now, when it comes, to finances, he can operate like that. Okay, no problem. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I got the money, this, and the third, right? That's fine. There's a place where he can operate like that. But in general, you shouldn't be looking at people's bank account to measure if they can pour into you. You know what I mean? That's not how you can grow. That's not how you can learn. Okay? So the people, he looked at like, they haven't built what I have built. Therefore, they cannot tell me anything. So if you are surrounded by people who've got money like you have, why are you still single? Why are you still single? You know? So that doesn't make sense. All right.
I was allowing them to sit at the head of my table, and I was sitting at the side of my own table. I allowed these men to tell me how to think. I allowed this one particular man to tell me who to date, who not to date. I remember bringing a woman to this particular man. She was dark skinned. He was a pastor, loved him like a spiritual father. And he told me she's dark skinned, fake hair. She's not the one. I immediately got rid of her because I was wanting a father, a spiritual father, a spiritual mentor in my life. And
you talking about you immediately got rid of her?
When I say immediately, I'm talking about within a week, yes.
Really? Mm-hmm. What did you tell her?
I just said, I don't think you're my wife.
Okay. On the other side, was she doing, did you not have any problems with her up to that point?
No, we had just met. So
okay, so it's fresh.
It was fresh, right? But what I've learned is, man, I think I still.
Yeah, okay. So, all right. You brought this lady to your spiritual father, right? Your spiritual father looked at her and said, okay, she's dark skinned. She's got fake hair, okay? How come you did not ask the spiritual father to be, why are you saying that she is not the one, okay? Just because somebody has fake hair, that doesn't mean she's not the one, okay? We all wear fake hair, okay? This is just normal. It's part of our culture. So it's not, you cannot judge somebody if they're wearing fake hair. That's not the one. You know what I mean? No. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so what? If somebody's going to walk in with a light skin and with real hair, does that qualify that woman to be a good woman? You know what I mean? So I think he could have asked more. However, once again, you know what I mean? How, as a woman, how you present yourself, people are going to, they're going to pronounce judgment by how you present yourself. That's why it is important, okay, women, we have to be modest. Because if you're going to present yourself, okay, and you're presenting yourself looking like a hoochie mama, and if people are thinking that you're a hoochie mama, are they wrong? You might not be, but why are you trying to look like one? You know what I mean? So present yourself as a lady. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing wrong with wearing with fake hair. But, you know, like even Peter says, right? Like, the braiding of hair, whatever. What he was talking about there was like what these ladies were doing. They'll braid the hair. It's nothing wrong braiding your hair. But what was happening in Corinth, they'll braid the hair and they'll put their jewels, you know what I mean? Like the diamonds, the jewels, and everything, the pearls, expensive, costly pearls in the hair. And then, they're walking, they're going to churches, all those other things, so that people should see them, you know what I mean? Like showing off. So that's what it's just like, no, you know what I mean? Let not your adorning be external, but what? Inside. So those are the things that he could have easily asked that spiritual guy. You know what I mean? Like, because to me, somebody just telling you, okay, drop this girl. She's dark skinned. She has fake hair. A week later, you drop her? To me, we need more information on that issue. You know what I mean? And if this guy is a spiritual guy, I give him a benefit of the doubt that he will just tell somebody to drop a woman because they have fake hair and they have dark skin. If he was to be honest, to me, I would want to know, how did you present? Like, what was the occasion? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did you meet this spiritual guy? Because you were introducing her, she came over there. Her boobs are all over the place. Her legs are all over the place. Like, no, sorry. You know what I mean? No, sorry. She's not a wife material. She's not representing herself as such. She knew she's meeting your spiritual father at the bare minimum. Present yourself. When you go and do an interview, how do you dress up when you go for an interview? So those are the things. But nevertheless, this is what he's saying. Okay, let's continue.
So I still do that a little bit now. I'll bring who I'm dating around, like other spiritual brothers and spiritual sisters. Even some of my, sometimes my mentors, just to get their vibe and thoughts on it. But as a man, yeah, you can't tell me.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that no more. You know, if I'm being honest. I'm going to get the wisdom.
Yes, at a certain point, but at the end of the day.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I'm making that decision for myself.
Absolutely.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And for me, because I wanted to do stuff right. I think sometimes
So you just didn't trust yourself. You didn't trust your own judgment.
No, because my judgment up until that point still kept me single. So I was thinking, well, if I have a spiritual father telling me yes or no, a spiritual mother telling me yes or no, but here's the thing. His wife totally disagreed.
Oh, really?
Totally disagreed.
And you just listened to what he said?
I listened to the father. To this day, we're not on that level anymore. I still respect him. I still believe he's doing amazing things. But I had to end that relationship. And that's why I wrote the book, because I feel as if Anthony O'Neill, the table represents my life. God is the head of my life. I sit at the head of my own life on this earth. And I got to invite certain people to my table to give me wisdom, but they sit on the side. No girlfriend is sitting on the opposite side. She's connected to me, but that chair, that position in my life is reserved for my wife.
That's good.
But I've always allowed other people to sit at the head of my life and tell me what I should do, whether it's a boss, whether that's a spiritual mentor, whether that's the bankers, you name it. I was always being told what to do, how to think, when to do things. And I never sit at the head and say, you know what, job, you come sit at the head, you come sit at the side. You know what, spiritual mentor, you come sit at the side. Therapy.
No, guys, what I'm hearing, no, this guy, he's 40 years old, okay? If somebody is 16, teenager, no, you are responsible. You are responsible. So I'm seeing him, he's blaming everybody else, okay? I wasn't sitting at the table. I'm not buying it. As a man, you are responsible. You were already created with authority invested in you. That's why men lead. Okay, just like in the marriage, right? It is a responsibility that God has put in men to lead. They have the authority. Women, you have the submission. Your responsibility is to submit. The man, his responsibility, according to God, from creation, is for them to be able to lead. So, if this spiritual father of his was telling him, he could have easily asked questions. So he didn't. Okay, that is gone. So it looks like he moved on, but he still blames that guy that he let go of this woman, is what I'm hearing. So now he's almost like, you know what? I'm done listening to people. I'm just going to take matters in my own hand and then do whatever I have to do. Okay, fine. Some people, you listen to them, they misled you. I grant that can happen. But to me, what I'm seeing is, who is Anthony O'Neill? Who is Anthony O'Neill? The buck stops with you. Even if people give you wisdom, right? You have the final say. You make the final decision. You either going to listen to the wisdom or you won't. So who are these people who are giving you wisdom? What is their level of their discernment? Because just because somebody is quote unquote a pastor, given where we are at right now, I've seen him sharing in front of the pastor that there's no way he can just be chilling as a single person, just waiting, you know what I mean? They're dating, but, you know, he's having all these encounters. So to me, that alone, if you can say this in front of the pastor, you know, like, you're talking about sin so casual. You know what I mean? You're too casual about sinful things. So that tells me I'm questioning his maturity in this arena, in this area. So yes, those things are going to lead to frustration. So then 11 months later, dude is still single. Okay? So I just like, no, something's not adding up.
You come sit at the side. Bro, I even have an emotional coach because I realized with me, I intellectually, I'm there. I didn't know how to control my emotions as a man.
So what brought that awareness? Because that's good. I'm glad that you became self-aware to know that you. So what I love about you is that you're humble enough to seek help. Okay. Most men do not. They be like, listen, this is who I am.
Man, listen, I should not be single at 40. Let's be honest. I've never been married. I've never been through a divorce. I have been engaged one time to an amazing woman, right? But Darius Daniels, I said this on your show when we did at his church. Darius Daniels, Pastor Don, sat down with me about 3 years ago now and said, there's no reason why you should be single. My mom told me that just yesterday. She was like, son, there's no reason why you should be single. It's not one. I've had lady friends who are gorgeous, who I respect. It was like, bro, the ladies are talking about, they are confused.
Yeah.
to why you're single.
He's confused.
But the truth of the fact is, there was something in me that God said, I cannot bring my daughter to you if my son is not in a position to steward her well. You steward your money well, but I don't think you can steward her well. And so what I'm going to do.
Guys, please just stop it. Okay? So, once again, God taught him. And everybody in his life, including his mama, says, son, there's no reason why you should be single at 40. That is true. So, let's back again. At 40 years old, okay? God is telling him at 40 years old that there is no way I can bring a woman to you at 40 years old because you have stewarded well your finances, but you're not going to be able to steward well the woman. So the question that I ask is, at what point did God come to the realization that Anthony O'Neill at age 40 wasn't going to be able to steward well when it comes to a woman, given that God is all-knowing? Huh? So if this God gave him the capabilities to be able to steward his finances well, we all know how finances go. It's very difficult to steward finances, right? But he was able to steward the finances well. So this God was able to give that to him on the finances front. But this God was not able to give it to him on the woman front, which is more important because marriage is God's idea. Okay? Be fruitful and multiply. So God was able, boom, you can steward the money. But I'm not going to give you everything else for you to be able to steward a woman well. Are we to believe that, guys? Are we to believe that? So I submit to you, don't even buy it. So this is the problem. These people, all the mistakes that they're making in their own life, they have to blame God. If they're not blaming God, they're blaming people around them. It's not true. It is absolutely not true. God is the God of order. God is not a man that he should lie. Okay? So it's just like, okay, oh my gosh, man. Like, who is... I'm not surprised. At this, with what he's saying, it makes sense why this guy is single. It makes sense why this guy is single. There's just no two ways about it. There's just no two ways about it. In fact, I wouldn't advise anybody. Like, this dude, he needs to work on a lot of things. Okay? He absolutely needs to work on a lot of things. Okay? So, Genesis. So, because we already know this from Genesis. So, what Anthony is telling us is a lie. Okay? So, Genesis 1:27. So, God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him, male and female, he created them. Okay? This is very important. Okay? And 28. And God blessed them. And God said to them, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish, the sea, and all these things. Okay? And God said, behold, I've given you every plant, seed, and all these other things, right? 31. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good, and there was evening and the sixth day. So, God has already created a man, created a woman, okay, in his image. So, God has equipped men. God has equipped men to have leadership, okay? And this is why people always say, like, oh, okay, hold on. God said, let the waters swim. Let me go. It should be Genesis 2 now, okay? So, because men, God has created men inherently with leadership to them. Genesis 2, okay? Genesis 2:20. The man gave names to all livestock and to all birds of heaven and to every beast of the field. Why? In the Hebrew culture, in the Jewish culture, naming names, it is a sign of authority, okay? That's why when you get married, you take your husband's name, okay? That is a sign of authority, okay? So this is what, this is what Adam was already doing, okay? He was taking care of business in the garden, okay? And then, but for Adam, there was not found a helper fit for him. So the Lord God caused a deep sleep and then, created a woman over here, right? And Adam ended up naming Eve. So when these men are coming out here, instead of them taking responsibility, but they're pushing back the responsibility back to God. Okay, because he says, oh no, God told me that I've equipped you in the financial realm. But on the woman, it's a lie. It's absolutely a lie. You know what I mean? Just because you're not pursuing women, just because you're not doing it, that's on you. You're not going to stand before God like, oh, God, you did not tell me. No. Okay? He who finds a wife finds favor of the Lord. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. Find. Are you looking? There's no way you can be looking and not find. This guy has everything in order. We already know that, right? So, all the things that people are looking for, this guy already possesses. So it should not be hard. But he's so much in love with his material things, with his finances, that he's blinded. And now excuse is just like, oh, I don't think I'll be able to steward that well. What do you mean? You get yourself good godly men, surround them. You get yourself, people who are married. Let those people pour into you so you can steward your marriage well. So I was just like, man.
Is you're doing great over here. But man, my emotions would sometimes, honestly, if I'm just being honest, my emotions would just ruin relationships, man.
How? What did that look like?
Oh man, what was my attachment love? My attachment
You
thing?
said avoidance.
Yeah, man. So for me, I was quick. As soon as I saw an issue, if we didn't address it, I would just back up. Like I would literally be like, yeah, no. Let me just be quiet and back up. You okay? I'm good. You want to talk about it? Nah, I'm good. What's wrong with you? Nothing. I'm straight. And what I realized, man, is that I was teaching ladies that my feelings my feelings didn't matter. And I would get upset at them because they didn't acknowledge my feelings. But every time they asked me about my feelings, I said, I'm good. But then I'm holding this energy on the inside, like you don't even care about my feelings. And she doesn't even know, like, wait a minute, I asked you. And I'm upset at her. And I'm like, wait, what in the world? And it wasn't until therapy, and it wasn't until I realized that my emotions wasn't really in tune. I was like, man, cool, great, all right. But here's the thing. I healed from that. Now, I say what's on my mind. Oh, my gosh.
Not too much. Now you say too much.
Yo, Laterras, this is funny that you already know what I'm about to say. Now, when I'm like, she asked me, how you doing? Man, I remember, Laterras.
That's real.
And this is the part about me that I get confused when it comes to this dating phase, which is why I'm always talking to married couples. But I feel as if having the single conversation is just as important with married couples because they've mastered this in their relationship. And they really can't, I don't really know if they can give us solid advice, but if they haven't experienced this in 20 years, it's kind of awkward.
Yeah.
But I remember calling a young lady and I said, hey man, I had this very big presentation that I had to make. And I told her the truth. I said, man, I'm nervous. I'm walking into a room, respectfully saying this, with a bunch of wealthy, super educated white men presenting myself. And I said, I'm nervous. I am scared. She skipped over that. Didn't respond. I brought it up. You know what her response was to me?
What?
You're AO. I thought you were stronger than that.
I thought you were stronger than that.
Like, I didn't know. Like what? She said, that kind of turned me off a little bit.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, wait.
Wow.
And so I'm confused because when I was leading with strength and it was, I'm good.
Yep.
It was, you're not vulnerable.
Yep.
Now when I'm being vulnerable and saying, hey, yo, yes, I get scared. I get nervous. And it's not a fear that I'm trembling.
And I'm not going to show up to the presentation. It's
I
just
showed up and showed out.
Yeah.
But still there was that little kid on the inside of me that was like, oh my gosh, you're black. They're filthy rich and super educated. They're going to judge you as soon as you walk through. I needed nourishment. I needed my love language is physical touch and words of affirmation. I needed my woman, and she wasn't my woman, but the young lady I was talking to like, babe, you got this.
We got to normalize that.
Okay, so men, so much stuff over here to unpack. Okay. So what I'm saying, the issue that Anthony O'Neill is presenting, he doesn't know what his, how do I say this? Okay. So number one, as a man, okay, this is as a man, the last thing you want to do is to present yourself scared in front of a woman. Okay. It does not mean that men are not scared. Okay. But man, I'm all over the place. Okay. But as a man, right? Like, what is the response? Men are what? They're protectors. They're protectors, they're providers, okay? They're ones who are going to get the job done. Women, they're going to rely upon that. So if you're going to present yourself to a woman that, oh, woe is me, then he's looking at you, woe is me, then what am I doing here? Okay? So in that situation, right, he was telling that to the wrong person, okay? So let's forget, number one, that's not your wife. So you are looking for something that your wife can fulfill, but the person is not your wife. So you are looking for that from the wrong place, okay? That's number one. Number two, he could have easily shared that information with one of his homeboys, okay? He could have easily shared that information with one of his homeboys and all would have been well. But he shared that information because the woman is looking at it like, okay, you're a protector, you got it and everything. It does not mean that men don't have emotions, but it's you thought what you were saying was true, but you were telling that to the wrong person. And what you were expecting that from the girl who is not your wife, also, once again, wrong person. You know what I mean? Like when it's a couple, when a husband and wife, whatever, there's things that they can discuss in the safety of their marriage. They can protect each other that way. Nobody else has to know about it, okay? But if you're out here, you're just saying those things, like it does not make any sense. So to me, I was just like, yeah, he's in love with his riches. I don't know the discernment that is around him. I'm not getting it, okay? Like, yeah. No, women, that's how it is. You know what I mean? We're emotional, you know what I mean? We're going to start crying and everything. So if you're going to join in the crying party, that's not helpful, okay? You need to be coming in, no, I got this, everything is going to be fine. You can be scared deep down, okay? Don't show it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's for another day, another time. The timing was off in this situation, guys, okay? How was the girl supposed to know? Oh, man, it seems, what are you laughing at? Yeah, so, man, this guy is a case study, man. This Anthony O'Neill guy, Case study. All right, guys, let's continue.
Men get fearful. Even Jesus Christ was fearful in the Garden of Gethsemane.
Facts.
He said, Father, take this cup from me.
Facts.
And that was his vulnerable moment as he was looking for that presentation he had to make
Facts.
on that cross. And it's nothing more than a woman it's nothing more than a man wants in a woman that can cover him in those moments of vulnerability and not weaponize it against him and say, I lost a great deal of.
No, I'm not going to give these guys the benefit of the doubt, given where they come from when it comes to these theological things, okay? What does that scripture say? That's, Father, take this cup away from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but your will be done. So, I don't know. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of sound mind and of love. Is it however you want to cut the cake? Like fear, where does fear come from? We have the introduction of fear after Genesis 3. Okay, we have fear, we have blame, we have independence. That's after Genesis 3. When Adam and Eve were chilling in the garden, they were not afraid of anything. They were enjoying their life, okay? Fear is the result of sin. So, I can look at this closely, but I would like to say no, Jesus wasn't afraid. If I don't know, I would like to say no, Jesus wasn't afraid because Jesus never sinned. He was sinless. And he did say that, let your will be done, not my will. And it was just like, let this pass away because, it was a little thing. So I have to look more into that issue. But initially, what comes to mind, because the text doesn't say Jesus was afraid. It doesn't say that Jesus was afraid. Nowhere in the scripture does it say Jesus was fearful. Nowhere in the scripture does it say Jesus was afraid. He was a man of sorrow. It's not sinful. He was hungry. It's not sinful. He grew weary. It's not sinful. He did cry. It's not sinful. So, but if you say that he was fearful, no. I'll say no. I'll say no. I'll object to that.
Respect, or you became a little bit unattractive to me because you showed me that. And then how did you recover from that? Did it just that relationship just started? I mean, did you walk away from her at that point, or did you keep trying to build something with her?
You know, if I'm being honest and transparent, I didn't walk away physically. I walked away emotionally because I was like, yeah, no, she can't handle my vulnerability. So what I did was I was still there, but I just turned into I got it.
Yep.
I'm straight.
Yep.
And it wasn't until I realized that I was going backwards that I was like, I told her, I was like, hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. You're not there for me emotionally.
Did she understand that when you pointed out that example?
I think so.
Yeah, so you see, this is the problem because these people are dating multiple people, okay? They want the benefits of marriage and everything else, but they don't want to invest. You know what I'm saying? A girlfriend is just a girlfriend. You know what I mean? It's just like, no, there's things that are exclusive between a husband and a wife. Okay, so if you want somebody else to be taking care of those burdens of yours, emotional and everything, you need to be committed to that person. Okay, you need to put a ring on it, and then that person will feel responsible for those type of emotions, for those type of feelings, and work with you. But if that person, you know what I mean, like, no, guys, you know what I mean. You're going to talk to this person, then you're going to talk to somebody else, you're the so-called data correcting, which I'm not against, but I'm sorry, it shouldn't be taking 10 years, 9 years for people correcting data on a woman, okay? There's no way you can tell me you're 40, like what? From age 30 to 40, that's 10 years. Surely. There were women along the way, you could have put a ring on it, so.
Oh, I think she understood that. I won't say what she said in response because I want to respect her because we're still cool to this day. But I believe that she knew that she missed the mark because there was other things that happened.
Guys, the lady wasn't wrong. You went to, like, this is the thing, right? Like, you come to me with, oh, can you help me? I mean, I don't know, something to do with the medical, whatever. I don't like looking at blood. So I'm the wrong person to help you in that regard. But you can go to somebody else who's into a medical field. They'll be able to give you good information. So because I wasn't helpful, I was the wrong person to come to me with what you needed help with. So, it's unfortunate things didn't work out. But he lacked wisdom. That's why he found himself in that situation. And he's demonstrated that.
Happened, right? And I was just like, And what I've learned, Laterras, is that I'm having to deal with is that when that happens, I can't retreat backwards.
Yep.
Because that's the enemy trying to make me feel like I will never find a woman that it is a safe place and a real place to be authentic and vulnerable with. And I was like, I can't, and I got fearful. So when I date now, I do have this thing of, okay, can I trust her my vulnerability? Can I be honest? Can I be transparent? Can I share that I'm a little nervous? And man, I mean, we're running businesses. Bro, you got team members. You're building things like, man, that ain't easy for
at all.
us.
And it gets scary.
It gets real scary, bro.
Yep.
I got families who depend on me.
Yep.
That is scary when you wake up knowing that, man, if I do something wrong,
yep,
families who are eating because of my brand could be impacted. I want to come home sometimes and cry. Another young lady, man, I laid on her shoulder after I got done speaking. She was turned off.
Huh?
I laid on her shoulder in the public. Her exact words to me a few days later was, I felt like you were my son. And I was like, wait, what?
Where you find these?
No. Here's the thing, though. I'm finding these sisters in the church.
He's finding these sisters in the church. What church? Okay, let's finish out.
Hold on.
I ain't done yet. So I was like, wait. What you mean? She said, we just met. I should be laying on your shoulder. I was like, but wait. And man, the emotions in me wanted to scream on the inside. Like, wait a minute, I'm trying.
Guys, sorry, guys, okay? Are you hearing what I'm hearing? Put yourself in, imagine that was you. This is a problem to me, what I'm saying, this guy, yes, any woman who actually be turned off by that, absolutely. If it was me, adios. I ain't your mama. This is the problem, okay? And be nice to him. You know what I mean? I don't think he's doing it. I don't think he knows what he's doing, okay? He means well from his heart. But how do I say this? Man. This guy is such a case study. So, how do I say this? All right. So, once again, remember, men and women are different. Okay? Men and women are different. Men, just like if there's danger, men, they respond to the danger. Just like when you look at, like, okay, when you are military, a whole bunch of people who go to military, what? Are men. Firefighters, men. You know what I mean? Risky jobs, men, right? Because that's how men are wired. Women, it's, always safety, right? We're thinking like, oh no, you're not going to do this. This is going to happen, this, that, and the third. That's just how we are. So this guy, this is the second lady now, okay? He wants to get a certain type of love, a certain type of emotional support, but that emotional support, with what I'm hearing, he missed that emotional support from his mother. He never got that, okay? Not that his mother was, but these are the things that are going to happen subconsciously. That's why it is important for fathers to be fathers in the home, mothers to be mothers in the home. When children don't get that love, certain emotion from their fathers, from their mother, they're going to get it elsewhere. It's not always bad things. So to me, with what he's saying, he didn't get those things from his parents. So as a result, he's looking to get that from somebody else. So he's thinking he's going to get that from the girl. Okay? So once he presented that, he was like, yes, you're rich, you've got money and everything else, but you are behaving like a kid. I'm a woman. I'm looking for a husband. I'm looking for a man. Sorry, that's a turn off. Those are the things that are going to happen. And it absolutely hurt his feelings. So once again, the second situation, he's looking for a certain level of emotional support, but he's looking for it from the wrong person. So that's something that O'Neill needs to work on. That's something he absolutely needs to work on. That's why you see the young ladies, they're going to find themselves in the arms of the sugar daddies, right? When you look at their story, you find out they have father issues, right? They didn't have a father in their life. They missed out on the love they should have gotten from the father. So they have to get it someplace else. And they always get it where? In the wrong places. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that is absolutely a turn off. One, that's not your wife. Like, what are you doing? It has to be the other way around, guys. And he can't say it because the money has blinded him. Oh, man. I even feel sorry for him, to be honest. You know?
Trying to do it right. I didn't pursue her for sex.
That lady told you that, not in that moment, did she?
No, not in that moment.
She brought it up later.
But she told me in that moment she felt uncomfortable because we're in public and a grown man is laying on her shoulder.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang.
I know some women that would have thought you was their husband.
So, no, guys, you know what I mean? Come on, guys, okay? Yeah, no, who's going to take this responsibility? You are in public. This guy is not your fiance, hasn't put a ring on it. And, sorry. Things don't work like that, Anthony, okay? Just because you got money doesn't mean you can just do whatever else you want to do. People, I see why he's single. It's making sense now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's making sense now, guys.
Because you're that vulnerable in that moment.
Man.
And the fact that you did something openly, publicly, that identified her as somebody that you were sharing intimate space with, that they would have valued that. They'd be like, look, you ain't trying to.
Listen, Sarah Jakes called me out 3 years ago. She said, boy, you ain't vulnerable enough. She said, you'll never find a woman because you're not vulnerable.
So you took that as a challenge?
Guys, did you hear what he said? Sarah Jakes told him. Sarah Jakes told him, you're not going to find a woman, whatever, because you're not vulnerable enough. This is this is the third situation where he is getting information, what he needs, wisdom from the wrong person once again. Why are you getting that wisdom from Sarah Jakes? That's not a wisdom that should be coming from a woman, let alone Sarah Jakes. You see? So, man, yes, you guys are on point. You guys are hearing. He is looking for validation from other people. You see what I'm saying? Because whenever he's in a company of other men, you know how men are, right? So he wants to showcase himself to the guys. You know what I mean? I'm A. O'Neill. I got it together. You know what I'm saying? So he is failing to share those emotions with his homeboys. He is sharing those emotions with the girls so he can get it from the girls. But he's got backwards, okay? When the girls look at him like, no, you're a young boy, you're too needy. I'm sorry, I got to move on. But he looks at himself, I'm Anthony O'Neill. I've got money. I'm successful. You know what I mean? So, yes, fear, yes, rejection, you are absolutely correct. You guys, you got it. So, to me, that tells me he's 40 years old. The issue that he has is from his upbringing. I have no idea what transpired, okay, or where he comes from and everything else. But he is looking for a certain affirmation. He's looking for affirmation. He's looking for love. So that tells me he didn't get that affirmation in the home. He didn't get that love in the home. So now it's manifesting, it's showing up in these dating streets. So now he's trying to get these issues from these women that he's dating, and these women are looking like, dude, that's way too much for me to give. There's no ring on my finger, okay? There's no ring on my finger. Sorry, I got to move on, right? So, but for him, he's looking like, why would I give you a ring? You are not taking care of me emotionally. You're not there for me like this. So why would I give you a ring? So they are to use their own words, they are misaligned. Oh, by the way, these people are going to therapy. And like I said, the therapists they're going to, these are not Christian therapists. Because I'm like, where is the biblical worldview of biblical manhood? Like, dude, that's what women do, not men. Come on, man. No wonder.
To be more vulnerable and it's backfiring.
Facts. And I wouldn't say it's backfiring. I just think I haven't met, well, I'm sorry, because I got to hold myself accountable. There were ladies in the past that like you said, would have loved it. But I wasn't in the correct mental space at that time to value what I had.
Right.
And then now that I've lost that and I've matured and evolved to this season that I'm in, to where now everything is about my table. Everything's about, I am preparing for my wife. I am preparing for my kids. I am preparing for my legacy. I need to show God that I can steward his daughter well. And so I'm leading now with this vulnerability. I'm leading now with, I'm not just this macho man, but don't get it twisted. I'm soft, but I'm still getting the job done.
Of course.
I'm still a provider. I'm still the priest in my home. I'm still growing and evolving spiritually. That's why I'm going back to school, because God is like, yo, I want to get you to a place to where you're not just this YouTuber, but no one can discredit you because you don't have the valid accreditation behind you. So I'm continuing to grow intellectually wise, but also I've submitted myself to a healthy man now that is doing very, very, very well in his marriage. And he's like, hey, yo, you got to be vulnerable. And I'm just like, it's not that.
Yeah, so Antonia, we are not against that, okay? It's not like men don't have emotions. We are human beings, they have emotions, okay? The thing that with what Anthony has shared from the beginning to where we are at right now, it's showing that he the communication that he's having the communication with the wrong people at the wrong time. You know what I mean? Like, if this woman is not your wife, if this woman, you haven't put a ring on it, you know what I'm saying? Like, there are just certain things that are only reserved to somebody who with a wife. But because these people don't have boundaries to where it'll be like, okay, you know what? These things are only for people who are married, committed in this way. That's why he found himself in this situation. You know what I mean? And he has shared as much. So as a result, he is out here sharing all these emotions, like pretty much with every lady, but it's just like, no, you know what I mean? Like, it's he has it backwards is what I'm trying to communicate. He has it backwards what I'm communicating, okay? He could share what he's sharing with somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, I know you guys, you get what I'm saying. There are things like, like girlfriends, the stuff that we do. You know what I mean? You want to talk all day. You want to do all these other things. This is what girls do. You know what I mean? Like, you try to do the same thing with a guy. They don't know how to react, to respond. Those are the things. So to me, I'm like, okay, Anthony, you got it, But listen to what he's saying over here. It's very important. I want to show you what he said recently with his friend. He said, He wants a wife. He wants children. He wants to build a legacy. Okay? So let's find out if
That easy. Because here's another thing. Man, I remember, I don't like coming on your show.
Because you get too vulnerable?
I get too vulnerable with you. And we always go viral over something that I say because I'm vulnerable and I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my goodness, Laterras, like, man, you're the only show I go viral on every time.
So watch this. So you heard what he said, right? Children, wife, he wants to build a legacy. All right. Listen to him. So this one was last week. So 11 years later, 11 months later, because he said he doesn't want to enter 2026 as a single man. So we're already in December right now, okay? We've got less than 2 weeks or so to be in a new year. So this is what he's saying now, as a single man. Take a listen.
Yourself, like myself, and some of my other counterparts within my brotherhood, right? We're successful. Well, babe, I could just be a stay-at-home mom.
Yep.
One of my friends would say, that's what I need.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm like, I just think that my vision is too big for just a woman who's going to sit at home and just raise children and spend my money all day.
But will she come support you, though?
I'm with it. But it's like at the same time, I do believe that women have something amazing that she can fulfill what God put on the inside of her while also supporting me. And I can continue to do what I do while also supporting her, but we're supporting each other and helping each other and we become one.
What if that comes in stages? So I
like that too.
Yeah, because what happens is a lot of times, and this is what I had to tell myself this, that what I'm looking, I'm 47, she's 37.
Mm-hmm.
I'm marrying her at 37, taking vows to spend a lifetime with her. She has a company, a thriving company called Doorhawks. She does great. But she even said, I don't want to do this no more. She said, I want to sell my business. The next stage of my life is to be a wife and a mother. I want to have kids. Before I met her, she was freezing eggs, spending $10,000 a pop to freeze her eggs. So naturally, she's saying, I want motherhood. Okay. And so motherhood may be a season of her life where it's like, now I get to have kids. Let me take a break off of working so hard because she's tearing her body up, sitting there working at all these events late, this girl works hard. Yeah. And so she's like, I'm tired. I was talking to this son.
Okay, guys. You heard O'Neal. He's telling us here, 11 months ago, that he wants a wife, legacy, and children. Last week, this is what, 5 days ago. He said he doesn't want a woman who is going to sit at home and spend his money. He just doesn't want a woman who just wants to have kids and stay at home and spend his money. Because what his vision is way too big. So so I know somebody was just like, no, men, they need to be sharing their things and everything. Can you see how wishy-washy this guy is? How all over the place he is. When I say he's so much everything, he looks at his life through the lens of his riches, through the lens of his money. Because he feels entitled. I'm rich, I'm successful, I have money. So if I'm being vulnerable, I want you to cater to me. If I want to lay my head on you, I want you to entertain. You see what I'm saying? Oh, and by the way, I want to do it in public. No, man, you haven't put a ring on it. You want to lay your head in public for this woman. The whole world is going to see. You can go back and find other women. The other guys are going to see that woman like, oh, no, wait a minute. We saw her in public with Anthony O'Neal. You haven't put a ring on it. And you... Do you see where this is going? Okay, guys, if it was a husband and a wife, they're sitting in a park, a man is laying on the wife, whatever, who cares? Nobody. Be like, okay, that's lovey-dovey, no problem, okay? But you are out there, you are single. This one is not married to you. The entire world is going to see you public. Don't do it. There's no way. Like, no, wait a minute. Like, these are the privileges. You know what I'm saying? They're privileges to being a husband. They're privileges to being a wife. So if you give up all the privileges of a wife as a girlfriend, then why should he put a ring on it? Why should he put a ring on it? Yeah? So just like, no, Anthony, no. Sorry, man. I don't blame those women. What they did was correct. What they did was correct. Yeah. So, man. Hey, Summer, baby, you're not having it, right? Yeah. So I was just like, guys, and to me, what I don't understand, but these are the relationship gurus, guys. Okay? These are the experts. People are following these people But you see the wisdom, the stuff that's coming out of their mouth. And he testify, we do stuff goes viral. Here we are. Mm-hmm. All right, guys, let's continue.
I'm like, goodness gracious. But it is what it is. But it's like, man, when I was out here and I wasn't moving with intentions, if I'm being honest, man, I had more. I felt like the flesh. There we go. Thank you, God. The flesh felt like I had more opportunities.
That part. I'm glad you said that because that's real. Keep unpacking.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, okay, I got to chill with you. I chill with you. Chill with you. Okay, cool, great. And then right over here, they'll be like, all right, man, what are we doing?
Yep.
Where are we going? What are we doing? What are you doing with me? I'm like, man, I'm just going with the flow. I'm just seeing, what's happening. Nah. I need a man who moves with intentions. Okay. I sit down with Darius, and we was in Orlando at the Pastors and Leaders Conference, and Darius and Pastor Don called me out and said, bro, you're not moving with intentions. And I was like, I'm not. When I start moving with intentions, Laterras, I just knew I was going to get married. I just knew, like, okay, I'm moving with intentions. Hey, listen, I'm dating with intentions. This is how I want to move. I want to get married. Wait a minute, hold up.
You're moving too fast.
You're moving too fast. Wait, just go with the flow. Bro, do you know how confusing it is to me? And I told one young lady, I said, listen, you can't tell me to go with the flow. Because if you tell me to go with the flow, I'm not only going to flow with you. I'm going to go and flow over here with her, flow over here with her. And then you're going to get upset because now I'm not intentional with you. Now, and I get the point of not rushing. I don't want to rush. But at the same time, though, to tell a man, do not move with intentions, go with the flow. When I was going with the flow, my flesh was pleased. When I'm moving with intentions, now my flesh is not pleased. And my spirit is like, wait, am I doing something wrong?
God, that's so real.
Like God, wait a minute. Now.
Okay, so, this is his testimony, okay? So my question would be, what type of women are we talking about here, okay? I grant to him, yes, there are other women, they don't want to get married. They just want to have a good time, have fun, and do all these other things, okay? That is actually true. But a woman who wants to get married, if he's dating with somebody, you want a person to be intentional. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we are dating for the purpose of marriage. I grant things might not work out. But from the beginning, from the get-go, this is exactly where you're going. You're collecting data. You want to assess as quickly as possible so you don't develop feelings, so you don't waste each other's time. It should not take long to find out what type of person is, what you're looking for. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. People can hide, but sooner or later, you'll be able to find out. Now, you're not going to find out everything about the person, but the main things that you need. You know what I mean? Does he have good character? Does he have self-control? How is his spiritual walk? Okay? How is his spiritual walk? Who are the, elders in his life? How is his relationship with his parents? How is his relationship with his mother? You know what I mean? Does he have an honest job? Is he a hard worker? These are the things that you need to know. Those are the things that you need to know, right? And you'll find out. If somebody is lying, you'll find out real quick. So it's unfortunate that there are other women who wants to play games, right? So that's not what we're talking about over here. But be that as it may, even if Anthony O'Neill has met other women who are not serious, the fact that he's 40 years old and he's involved with all these men, right? The Dear Future Wife, we know how many women have gone on that podcast. He's in that circle and everything. There are a lot of women who actually want to get married. They do desire to get married. And he has met some good women, according to him. So why didn't how come it has not materialized for them to become wives? And we just watched that video. In his mind, I just don't want a woman who's just going to stay home, raise my children, spend my money all day. Like, that's even a more important thing for women to do because she's home building your legacy. Building your legacy, like, what is it that you're looking? So when I say these people are not necessarily looking for a bride, they're looking for a brand. They want a woman to come in and enhance their brand, take their brands to the next level. That's it. They're looking for business partners disguised as brides. That's all.
I'm telling your daughters, let's do this. Man, one young lady wanted to have sex, and I was like, no, I don't want to do that. Not saying I've never had, I have had sex.
Yeah,
I've said it on your show. Yeah. Okay? That went viral. We got to address that. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But in the season of me moving with intentions, And I was like, yeah, no. Let's no, because if we do that, it can cloud things, and I just don't want to be outside like that. It's not what I want. I want to know, are you my wife? Well, let's just go with the flow. Wait, what? And I think sometimes, and this is where I think, no, I'm just gonna say it. I ain't gonna say that. It's not only men out here who are moving wrong. Women are out here doing this thing too.
And so that's why I was getting at. And that's why I say they will put it on you and say, you're a single man, you're 40 years old, you understand that, you shouldn't be single right now, quote unquote.
No, we denounce such women. We denounce such women. No, we want women to be intentionally dating. If you want to be playing games, that's the people of the world. Because both of these guys profess to be Christians, okay? So, and he did say he found some of these women in the church, so who knows what's going on there. Just because they're in church don't mean they're believers.
And your mom is right, Darius is right, Pastor Don is right, they all right, yourself is right.
Yeah.
And then you go, okay, well, now this is my story.
Yeah.
And you can't remove your experience. The experience was, I'm trying everything. And it's still like, what's actually happening? And people be like, yeah, right. And I'm like, yes.
No.
Yeah, like for real. Like even when people accuse me of time, Laterras don't want to be married. If he want to be married, he'd have been married. That y'all don't realize, they was telling me this in 2023, beginning of 2023. I said, y'all not know that I was sitting on my podcast in January crying over a woman I thought was my wife. And it ended like, this was just 3 months ago. They like, well, just find another one. I was like, you think, I said, now what would it look like? How erratic would I look like if I just said, I thought this woman was my wife 3 months ago, and the next minute I'm saying, and now she's my wife. You'd be like, Laterras,
No, it's not about the 3 months. It's the totality of the time. He's been, at this time he was divorced. He was divorced for almost 10 years, like 9 years. So for 9 years, he's been single. He just got married in 2025. We're glad that he got married. So the question is, for 9 years, you cannot tell me you're data correcting. For 9 years, you couldn't find a wife. So we are glad 10 years later, he found a wife. So it's not like, the totality of the time that you have been single was more than enough for you to find a lady and to get married. It should not have taken 10 years.
think everybody your wife. You know what I'm saying? And then they'd be like, I don't think you fully healed. Now you're going to judge. I don't think you fully healed from the last one. That was just 3 months ago. And you'd be like, good Lord. They say you're dang if you don't, you're dang if you do. And so the reality is your lived experience is your lived experience. And I totally get it. I understand it. And so when you look at it now, you made a decree within yourself and to your parents that you will be what? You're not going in 2026 single, meaning that you're going to be married, or you will be have a solid girlfriend, or you will be engaged. Let's quantify what you're talking about here.
Bare minimum, I know this woman is my wife. God-sized goal is she's my fiance. I don't want to rush, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want to take my time either.
And then what do you explain that?
I think sometimes, especially men, successful men, I don't say I just think men in general, we don't really move with intentions. I got time. And the truth of the fact is, I think there's a balance between time and moving with intentions, right? Like, okay, wait, I can move with intentions, but I don't have to say, all right, we get married next month and I just met you last month, right? I'm just going with the spirit of God.
No, I want you to still break that down. What does that look like? What is moving with intentions? We hear this statement all day, but we haven't really verified what that means. And to different people, it means different things. So what does moving with intentions mean to Anthony O'Neal?
In this season, I'm not dating.
As you are seated at your table.
Right. Yeah. It's like that seat is voided. I want someone in that seat. God told me somebody should be in that seat. If I meet a woman, I'm not just meeting her and just chilling. It's like, hey, are we aligned?
Yep.
Like I'm asking specific questions, not just going with the flow. What's your color? I don't care what your color is right now.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like I do care, but it's like, no, I want to know, like, are we aligned spiritually? Are we aligned mentally? Are we aligned emotionally? Are we aligned with family? Are we aligned?
Yes.
Once I can identify if we're aligned, like that's moving with intentions. That's me knowing, okay, do you think like me? I met an amazing young lady, man, an amazing young lady. But within a matter of 2 weeks, because I was moving with intentions, I found out that we just didn't align spiritually.
Yeah.
So, but if I wasn't intentional, I'm taking her out to eat. I'm trying to impress her. I'm trying to, get to know her color. What's your dream? This, dream that. And then 3 months down the road, okay, wait, you're in this religion and I'm in this religion. I don't care what your color is now.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, so for me, how I'm maneuvering in the beginning stages of this season of my life is different from how I was maneuvering in the past. It's
Okay, I agree with him there. At least, he said some true things over there. Finally, he said some true things over there. But then, the clip that I just played for you, this was just like a week ago. So as of, up to now, with what he said publicly, Mrs. O'Neill is nowhere in sight. Okay, he's nowhere in sight, but she's hoping he'll be entering 2026 with somebody. Between now and December 31st, there's plenty of time. I'm sure anything can anything can happen. So he is correct. There is a lot of men who don't want to move intentionally when it comes to settling down, because men, they have all the time in the world. You know what I mean? They have the all time in the world, because they're not thinking that, it's good to get married, at a young age, you know what I mean? They're in their 20s, 30s, get married, have kids, and all that. So Laterras got married, his second marriage, right? He's 47, right? The woman is 37. And it's just like, you are 37. At that time, they had gotten married earlier. You know what I mean? You have more time with the kids, more time, take care, of your little ones, and be able to walk your children down the aisle. You know what I mean? Not at a later stage, but people are not thinking like that and not thinking about the future. So they're going to take their sweet time. I was even listening. We should do this video maybe another day. So this guy is 40, 46, 47, and not Laterras, somebody else. He has 2 children he had in high school. They are in their 20s. And he has 2 young ones, maybe 5 and 6. And when they ask him, okay, so what age bracket are you looking for a lady? You know what he said? 28. He's looking for a woman at age 28. He wants somebody in their 20s, 28 years old. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, so you are 46 years old. But you want a woman that you want to marry has to be 28 years old. Now, it's a guy. That can happen. There's nothing wrong with that. But the point is, if this person is 46 years old, guess what? His peers, when it comes to women, guess what? They're they're also in their 40s. They're also in their 30s. But he's not interested with those women because they're in their 30s, they're in their 40s. He even wants to go lower at age 28. So if you are 46, you end up with a 28-year-old, right? So who is out here to take the 35-year-old woman, the 40-year-old woman? You see where it's going? Yeah. So that's why it's so important, because these men, they can do whatever. Both of these guys, right? If Anthony is 40 right now, Anthony he can marry a 21-year-old. You know what I mean? He's rich, he's got money, he's whatever. No big deal. Pretty much any age that he wants, he can just decide, okay? That can happen for him, right? Most women, no. You know what I mean? Guys will be like, oh, how old are you? I'm 40. How old are you? You're 40. No. You know what I mean? I'm looking for somebody who's younger. You know what I mean? Oh, he's 47. Laterras is 47. And I met a woman who's like, oh, what, I'm 46. You're telling me he would have put a ring on it? Like, why are you 46? Oh, no, sorry. You know what I mean? A little bit young. So, but men, they can do that. Ladies, it's different. Because women are supposed to be pursued, right? So when you have an eligible bachelor here at 40 years old who is just like, get your emotions and everything else squared up, dude. You know what I mean? Yeah. So these are the things that I do see that men are not thinking. You know what I mean? Because this is what happens. Because right now, women, we grow fast. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah. Tamara, Michelle, what I say? If this men were so attached to their money, they would, this is what we're saying. They're looking at the money like, because they look at how old are you? 20, you don't have anything. No, here, you got to sign a prenup. Girls, yes, exactly, yeah. But it's not, but because these people were taking their sweet time. Let's be honest. Laterras he was married, right? He got divorced, but he stayed single for what? For 10 years. So the ladies who were within his age bracket for 10 years, I don't think he wouldn't be interested in them now. You know what I mean? That's why he never married any of them. So these are the things, just like men. Yeah.
I'm asking the questions of, hey, I don't do consumer debt. Are you okay with that? Nah, I think I'm always one that, oh, okay, cool, great. No problem. Respect. Like the questions that I'm asking, and it's not an interview, man. Like I'm still going out.
Explain this to the people that don't know what consumer debt is. Explain it.
I mean, consumer debt is just simply anything outside of an asset. So anything outside of, real estate, a business, but like, no, I'm not going to go finance some shoes. I'm not going to finance this jacket. I'm not going to
get a retail credit card.
No.
And you want your wife to be aligned with not desiring those things as well.
I am, but she can have a credit card now. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is
before
not
you meet her, but you want to be able to let's knock this out and
let's do it. And here's the thing, man. I'm at the season of my life. If she come to me with debt, as long as we align on the vision,
we can pay it off.
Man, listen, honeymoon night.
Yep.
Before we get in that bed and make it do what it do.
Yep.
I'm cutting the check.
Yep.
And we are debt free.
Yes.
Right. It's not when I marry you, I'm cutting your debt. No. When I marry you, Anthony O'Neill is now back in debt. Yep. That's not my platform. So I'm cutting the check to make sure that we are debt free. You know what I'm saying?
You spoke a word right there.
But I got to make sure, though, she's sticking around. Because I ain't about to be cutting this check. It is. She be like, nah, that's I'm making, bruh. You know what I'm saying?
We all know we're laughing.
Hey, your camera lady is laughing because she understands it, right? But that's why I'm saying I'm moving with intentions to make sure that we are real. Because you know what? Oh, man, this is good. This is so good.
He said, cut it and go.
I'm going to cut it. God.
Guys, we are halfway through right now, and I'm looking at the time. I want to honor your time, okay? We definitely have to finish this because the entire time I was just like, oh my gosh, okay? Yes, so no, we'll mark it over here. So we're gonna use this as part one. We definitely need to do part two, guys, okay? Unless if you guys are fine, I'm okay, but I want to honor your time, you know? I want to honor your time. Man, oh, fine. So, yeah. So, let's do last call and then we can do, we can finish up. Because I like all the parts because I listened to it. I was like, let's do this part. Then I realized, I'm like, you know what? The stuff that he's saying, there's something here. So, we can always, do the other thing, okay? So, let's listen this one.
Last January, this time last year in 2024, he said, your heart is where your treasure is.
Yep.
And I was like, what you mean? My heart's where your treasure is. I know that. I was like, man, I ain't got no debt. I'm literally talking to the guy like bro,
I ain't got no debt.
I ain't got no debt. What you mean? I'm out here living what I'm preaching. He said, you're living what you're preaching, but you're not living what you desire. I was like, okay, man, that wasn't deep. But what do you mean? He was like, you told me you want a wife and you told me you want kids. Right. I see no fund for kids. I see no fund for their kids, for the future of your kids. And I was like, wait, what? I said, I already saved money for the ring. He said, yeah, but you say you want kids. I don't see an estate plan. I don't see a trust. I don't see a 529 for kids. And I was like, whoa. So now, bro, when I say like I am so dialed in for my table that when my wife comes to the table, bro, the plate, the forks, the sides, everything that she needs to be productive at the table is already set.
And that started last year when God.
It was 2 years ago, 2 years January, for my finances. So I've already opened up a 529. So when I have kids, I will look at my daughter when they turn 18. I will look at my son whenever they turn 18. If I'm blessed to be around, which I'm praying that I will be, I can look at them and say, before I met your mother, I put my treasure in you.
Woo, God.
Because my thing was, I couldn't tell God I wanted kids. But I'm out here buying the nice cars. I'm out here buying the nice shoes. I'm out here doing great things for my team members. I'm out here sowing seeds into the church, but I'm not sowing seeds into the future. And so I opened up a 5.
Guys. Okay. I know the microwave where it is. So what he said over here, okay? Maybe I need to put a poll. You know what I mean? If you want us to finish, we can finish. I'm down for the cause. Okay? If we have to do it another day, no problem. I want to honor your time. Okay? So put it in the comments what you want. Finish, we finish. Oh, next time, no problem. So this guy, okay? Sister Tracy. Oh, Michelle. Oh, man.
All lies will be exposed.
That's so funny. That's so funny. Now I've lost what I was going to say. Oh, you make me laugh, girl. You make me laugh, girl. All right. So, don't miss this, guys, okay? So once again, they're saying God told him. No, God did not tell you, okay? God did not tell you. So let's just leave God out of this, okay? What he's saying, guys, it sounds so good, okay? It sounds so good. It'll make you like, oh, yes, this guy, boom. You know what I mean? He's got his finances in order. He has college fund. He has money for the ring, the whole 9 yards, right? And, like what? Last week, like 4 days ago, he doesn't want a woman who is going to be home, taking care of his offspring, spending money all day. That's what he said. Okay? So this is like a rich, foolish man. Remember when Jesus, this guy came to him, said, I've obeyed all the laws and everything else. What do you want me to do? Jesus told him, like, go and sell everything and follow me. And the guy was like, oh, no. You know what I'm saying? That was it. The concept was not Jesus like, okay, go and sell everything whatsoever. It was just like where it was his heart. His heart was with his riches. So he was not even willing to let go of his riches. Okay? And the other one, the foolish guy, right? And he bought the field, the whole 9 yards, a rich man. And Jesus told him, you fool, this very night, your soul will be required of you. So the issue that we have with this gentleman, okay? It's nothing wrong to have riches, guys, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. I want you to hear me correctly. He is saying, right now, he's 40 years old, okay? He's 40 years old. Money is not an issue, okay? All that is already taken care of. He still doesn't have a wife. But he's saying that he's put money in the bank and everything for the kids. So let's say he meets a woman, right? He gets up to have a wife, okay? And he marries that woman. And that woman is not able to have children with him. What is this guy going to do? Because according to him, God told him, put money for the children, for, a ring for the wife, and all these other things. So he gets married, and children are nowhere to be found in the home. What is he going to say? For some reason, they're not able to have children. What is he going to say? But God told you to save money, right? To save money for college fund for the kids. So if God told you to save money for college fund for the kids, but now you're married and you don't have kids, did God tell you to save money for the college fund? And if you're 40 years old, okay, we know the lifespan for men, right, is what? Mostly 70, 75. Okay? So 40, 50, 60, 70. So 30 more years. And, according to the scripture, 3 fiscal years and 10, by the show of strength, maybe 4. That's 80 years old. You know what I mean? You live 80 years old, that's a good life. 70, that's the maximum. Okay? If for some reason you're blessed, you can live Abrahamic years, 120 years, but that's not going to happen. So at 40 years old, right? And the average span for a man is 70. So you have 30 years left. I'm not saying that's, I'm just saying this average speaking, right? I'm not saying that's what's going to happen to him. He can live to 120 years old, but we're talking over here. So this idea of you sitting on the sidelines, accumulating all this wealth, enjoying all this wealth by yourself as a bachelor, in the name of what? In the name of what? In the name of what? You don't want a woman who's going to come home and stay home, okay? Which means you're looking for a woman who has similar riches to you. And where are you going to find a 28-year-old who has similar riches like you, Anthony O'Neill? Or a 30-year-old for that matter. You know what I mean? I'm sure there are boss babes out there he can find, but it's not realistic. He's so much in love with his riches. He looks at everything through the lenses of his money and everything else. No wonder he's found himself in this situation. So it's unfortunate that now you're going to sit across with dear future wife. He, with similar sentiments of mindset, right? Of wanting to take their sweet time when it comes to marriage. So much so now, just, okay, 47 years later, okay, now let me get married. But now you get married, you come back from a honeymoon, within an hour, you're on a podcast. Now you are on tour with your bride, promoting the book, promoting the podcast. So the question is, are you guys invested in the marriage or in the brand? I'm wondering out here. So it's crazy. Yeah. So there's nothing wrong. This guy, the riches, there's no problem. But he is banking on, I have all this. I have all this, so that when the wife shows up, everything is ready. 11 months later, guys, the wife is nowhere to be found. 11 months later, the wife is nowhere to be found. And mind you, some of them, It's not like they didn't know he's got money. You know what I mean? He's crying on their lap and everything. They'll be like, hold up. I'm sorry, dude. With the money and everything else you can keep. I'm out of here. You know? So yeah, that is that is the thing over there. Yes, guys. So that's why it's sad to see these pastors and Christians influence are saying they would take $1 trillion over. Yes, you know, yeah, absolutely. Yes, yeah. So yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you know, plan, do all those other things. But these are the things that these people, it's like they're hiding their hand in the sun. That's why I'd be like, okay, so you want your wife to do all these other things, right? Because he did say, you know what I mean? He wants a freak, the dear future wife. So, but when the freak stops, or the freak can't happen, what's going to happen? What's going to happen in that marriage? You know what I'm saying? You start resenting your partner because you are looking for things that you shouldn't be looking for those things, right? In the marriage. You're married, you can do all sorts of things. But if you base your things to all these other things, a problem. So once again, this guy, because he's in love with his money, right? Let's say he meets a woman who has everything, right? Checks, a proverb said, one woman, but she has 250,000, whatever, in student debt because she went to college and everything else. You tell me, what is this guy going to do? Because he's going to think twice. Should I cut a check? What if this woman leaves me? You know what I mean? You know what? I'll pass. Too much debt hanging on her. But the woman, everything else is good. You see what I mean? You made a woman like, okay, this is what I used to do, but now I'm a Christian, this, that, and the third. I misuse my money, but this, what is he going to do? He's going to be like, no. You know what I mean? So he's looking for a woman, but he's still like, what's your credit score? You know what I'm saying? You're missing out on the other things. So to me, these are the things that I do see with these guys. So, yeah. I mean, if the ladies are out there with O'Neill, have at it. But to me, I wouldn't. If I know anybody, my girl, I'll be like, you know what, stay clear of this guy. You know what I mean? Stay clear of this guy. Like, he needs biblical counseling to understand what biblical manhood is and what marriage is. You know, those are the things that he absolutely needs to learn on. So far, everything is money, 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 money. Yeah, so I problems. All right, let's take a look at the scripture, guys, okay? 1 Peter 3:7. Likewise, husband, live with your wives in an understanding way, showing honor to the woman as the weaker vessel, since they're heirs with you of the grace of life, so that your prayers may not be hindered. So this is how God takes seriously marriage, that men should live in an understanding way with their wives in the home. If they're not doing that, all the prayers they're praying, they're not going past the ceiling. God is not even hearing those prayers. God is not even hearing those prayers. So, marriage is absolutely a serious thing. So, like, marriage is a gift from God. There'll be no marriage in heaven. Paul wasn't married. Jesus wasn't married. Okay? It's, beautiful to get married and everything else. But if that's not your calling, if that never happens, you desire, but it never happens, it should be well with your soul. You should be content with where you are. When marriage comes, it will just be an extra bonus. But don't wait to be fulfilled in marriage. Because when you get married, when your partner is not able to fulfill you in that way, you're going to resent them. Like, find your fulfillment in Jesus, with or without the husband. Okay? 1 Corinthians 7:8. Okay? To the singles. To the unmarried and the widows, I say that it is good for them to remain single, as I am. But if they cannot exercise self-control, they should marry. For it is better to marry than to burn with passion. To the married, I give this charge. So this is Paul, right? So just encouraging, like, if you're single, you have plenty of time. And you can use that time, you want to be involved in ministry. Because nobody else is depending on you, right? You're doing all sorts of things. But if you're married, your priority is to your husband, is to your wife, not to the ministry. So your time has all these things that it is in competition with. They are not wrong things, but so you have less time to do certain things. So yeah, so like while you're single, cultivate, be busy about the kingdom. You don't have to be married in order for you to be useful for the kingdom. If anything, you're even more useful as a single person for the kingdom than being married, because marriage takes up all these other things. Okay, yeah. So I never look down upon people who are single. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with you. If, be faithful, marry. You know what I'm saying? You wish to get married, keep praying for your husband. You have opportunities, connect with people, go to places, meet people, talk to people. Okay, talk to people and do it in a healthy way. I've been to at least 6 weddings people made online. They're still married, they have kids, good, beautiful marriages. But, so there's nothing wrong to meet people online. You just have to be wise and use wisdom. Okay, be wise, use wisdom, because things have changed, right? This is a public square. Yeah, things have changed. So be vigilant. If you're single, there's people in your life. You have elders at the church. Make your intentions known to your elders that you desire to get married. You know what I mean? So they know how to be praying for you as a single person. And because they know that, you desire to get married, another guy might go to them, they desire to get married. Those are the opportunities right there. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you don't have a father in your life. Honor the people who are in the authority in your life. Be that godly woman who is busy about the kingdom. Yeah. Like these, the Instagram, all these other things, these OnlyFans and everything, this stuff is just superficial. It's absolutely superficial. We can see right now, like Anthony, yes, you've got money and everything else, but, you are, he's not mature. And it's because he's so much focused on his riches. He's so focused on his riches. So he looks at everything through his riches, which is wrong. Like, no, look at things with a biblical worldview. So, like, it's so nice. Can you imagine if these guys, if they had gotten married 10 years ago, right now, they would have had children. Like, all these other things they would have done, even expand more for the kingdom. Because he does desire the thing that he wants to do, equipping the church, but he wants the church to be doing business. No, we want you equip the members of the church, Yeah. So they have gifts and talents that can be used to advance the kingdom. But right now, I've watched other videos, even some people, they are not even Christians. You know what they're saying? Said, oh no, these people are Christians. No, don't even listen to them. You know what I mean? They always hide behind God. They always hide behind spiritual things. But now we are listening at every turn. You say, oh, God told me. I'm like, guys, please. People listen to that. They think you're actually saying the true things according to the scripture, but they're not. And you bring a reproach on the name of Christ. So we are out here warning people like, no, this is not all of it. Yes, guys. But you guys are simply the best, guys. They absolutely going to be part 2, guys. Okay? We need to do part two, buddy. Yeah. LG 4841. It was nice seeing you being here. Good to see you. Tamara Michelle, always nice seeing you. You guys are the best. SS Sims, good to see you. This one is for you guys. Yes. Thank you. But we are here. We want these people what?
Some of y'all better get y'all discernment together.
Exactly. And we're here to do
All
what?
All eyes will be exposed. That's all.
Exactly. All eyes will be exposed. We want discernment from these people. Guys, you guys are the best. We have to leave it there. Definitely we're going to do part 2. Part 2. So don't miss, okay? Put that notification bell on so you don't miss part 2. I want you guys to hear what they say all the way through. On your way out, please, make sure you like this stream. Double check to make sure you're a subscriber. Let's enter. I don't want to get to 2026. I want to enter with 10K. Can we make it happen, guys? Can we make it happen? 10K when we enter 2026. But guys, I do appreciate you. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Support me on Buy Me a Coffee and Patreon account. And be sure to join the membership, okay? Let's continue this conversation in the comment section because I'm interested to know what you guys say. It's been interesting. Part 2, all right. Part 2 coming your way, all right? Public demand, part 2. Yes, we're going to do part 2, guys, okay? So right now, I think this is all we can take. I was just like, oh my gosh, Anthony O'Neill. If he ever watches this, dude, no, okay? Get to the Bible. All right, guys, I'm so grateful. I appreciate your viewership. Enjoy your day, okay? I'm sure I'll be able to see you guys, okay? We'll definitely do a part 2, okay? We'll see how the schedule works. But yeah, we'll definitely do part 2, okay? I owe you guys part 2, okay? All in all, enjoy. Looking forward to see you on part 2. Until next time, remember, theology matters. Thank you.